From Spillane Field in Wareham, Massachusetts, it's another beautiful night for baseball here at Spillane. Hi everybody, welcome into the Gatemen Baseball Network alongside Cameron Stewart. I'm JD Rachi as we get set to see the Wareham Gatemen face off against one of the hottest teams in the CCBL, the Falmouth Commodores. Gatemen coming off a 13-1 win over the Bourne Braves on Thursday, had the day off yesterday with every game in the league canceled, and then the Commodores are coming off another dominant win, 17-7 over the Katuitt Kettleers. Also on Thursday, they are 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. The right-hander Will Proctor will get things started on the mound tonight for the Gatemen as Logan Davidson, the switch-hitting shortstop from Clemson, strides in from the left side to face him. Proctor, the right-hander out of Georgia. The first pitch of the evening is a called strike on the outer half, a fastball, coming in at 6:29, a minute ahead of scheduled first pitch here from Spillane. Davidson, the shortstop out of Clemson, just came back from a stint at the College World Series Home Run Derby. Hits that one to the right side. Zahid Valenzuela's throw over to Lyle Lockhart is in time for out number one. So Will Proctor gets off to a good start.
And I'm hoping this is going to be a bounce-back start for Proctor. He last pitched in a start against Hyannis in that 17-4 victory last Saturday. And he went 4 innings but gave up 3 runs on 7 hits in the game. And he just wasn't too sharp all night. He hopes to bounce back tonight against a team that's really hot right now, like you said.
First pitch into Maverick Handley, the catcher from Stanford. Misses low, a breaking ball that time for Proctor. It's 1-0. Proctor had a 3.29 ERA this season. This is his 5th appearance, 3rd start of the year. He's gone 13 2/3 innings thus far on the Cape. 13 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. 5 walks and 9 strikeouts. And the last time these teams played, Will Proctor was also on the mound. Had a fantastic outing at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. 3 2/3 innings of relief. Gave up just an earned run, a hit, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. He was really the fuel that kept the Gatemen in the game and allowed them to come back from an early deficit. Ball and 2 strikes here to Handley. Misses low, 2-2. Maverick Handley, the catcher out of Stanford, was not on the roster the last time these two teams played at Falmouth in the early part of the season. It's been a bit of a struggle for him through his first 11 games, just 189 on the Cape. Fouls off the 2-2, we'll do it again. As we mentioned, this is 12th game of the season with the Commodores. 7 hits, 6 runs. He does have a home run this season. 5 RBIs, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Misses just outside, 3-2 now. Austin Langworthy, the center fielder out of Florida, waits on deck. Slight breeze pushing out toward right field as we speak. The 3-2 pitch is swung on slap back into the Falmouth dugout. Looks like everybody's all right, though. We'll do it again at a full count. Defense today for the Gatemen. Paven Parks at third base, at shortstop Ryan Kreidler. Zahid Valenzuela at second with Lyle Lockhart at first. Gian Martellini rounds out the infield behind the plate. Another payoff pitch. Hit on the ground, a couple of hops to Paven Parks. 2 steps and a throw, just in time to beat Handley down the first base side, but 2 up, 2 down for Will Proctor. He's looked good so far.
Yeah, and I've seen him go to his breaking ball is like a 12-6 curveball a little bit. With that high arm angle, it's going to come down hard and bite at the end, and that's something we've seen him mix in so far in this first inning. Still a fastball-heavy guy, though, out of Georgia. And see if he continues doing that. He went back-to-back when it was 2-2, worked the count full on a ball and then got a foul ball on it, so could be his out pitch tonight.
So now Austin Langworthy, the center fielder from Florida, strides in, the left-handed hitter. Little SEC action here as he skies one foul down the third base side, but it will get out of play. Georgia Bulldog on the mound, Florida Gator in the batter's box. Langworthy and a couple of other Florida teammates just coming over to Falmouth in the last week or so, coming off the College World Series appearance as they tried to defend their title from 2017. Couldn't do so as Oregon State picked up their national championship this year. But Langworthy had one of the more memorable moments of the NCAA tournament. Walk-off home run in Game 3 of the Super Regionals to beat Auburn and advance to the World Series. 1-1 to the left-hander. Is swung on and tapped off the plate, up to Proctor, and he flips it over to Lyle Lockhart at first for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, all by way of the ground ball for Falmouth. We're headed to the bottom of the first. Gatemen get their first looks at Mitchell Stone today. We're coming back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss. Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Big left-hander Mitchell Stone on the mound today for Falmouth. 6'9", 260 pounds. Out of Oklahoma State, he will deal with 1, 2, 3 Jeremy Iden, Sahid Valenzuela, and Austin Shenton for the Gatemen here in the bottom of the first inning. Stone is a big guy, and the Gatemen have already seen him once this season. He was the starter last time these two teams faced off at the beginning of the year. In that outing, he went 4 innings, gave up just an earned run, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts, so he was very effective, although the numbers have gone down considerably since then. Just a 4.15 ERA in 3 starts. He's gone 13 innings, given up 10 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 7 walks, and 15 strikeouts, so the walk-to-strikeout ratio isn't exactly where he wants it to be, but the strikeout numbers are pretty high, averaging over a strikeout per inning. Jeremy Idens, the right-handed hitting left fielder, will lead it off for the Gatemen, as he has in every game he has played this season with Wareham. 6'9" Stone, big leg kick, and the first pitch to Idens is a fastball. Right on the inner half for a strike, quickly 0-1. Idens coming into the day, hitting .323 on the season. This is his 16th appearance. He's got 20 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, and a home run, so he is one of only 2 Gatemen on the season to have every type of extra base hit. This one hit back up the middle, and it'll just be a base knock, but the Gatemen have it started with Jeremy Idens. Leadoff single for him, and now Sahid Valenzuela, the switch-hitting second baseman, will come in with a runner on and nobody out.
We saw Idens wait on that ball to knock it right back up the middle. I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight, JD. You mentioned in the pregame that Stone doesn't have a very hard fastball. He's really known for that crafty left-hand breaking stuff, and because he's so tall, that's coming in at a high arm angle, like Proctor's, but obviously a little more dramatic, standing at 6'9". So I think a lot of these hitters are going to wait to see if that's going to dip right at the end, at the bottom of the strike zone, like you just saw Idens do.
First pitch here to Sahid Valenzuela, switch hitter batting right against the left-hander. Stone in for a strike, 0-1. Valenzuela on this season has been excellent in his first 10 games in a Gatemen uniform. .381 for the Cal State Fullerton Titan. 16 hits, 3 doubles, and a homer. 0-1 outside, 1-1. He's got 8 RBIs this season, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and those 8 RBIs are impressive not only because he's only been here for 10 games, but also because he's hitting out of the 2-hole and still picking up those RBIs.
Yeah, we really haven't seen him in any other hole in the lineup. You know, some of these 2 guys can be switched to 5 very easily, but Valenzuela hasn't.
Skies one into left field. The left fielder, Will Brennan, races in and makes the play for out number 1. So no RBI, no hit for Valenzuela there, but now the most consistent, the most dangerous hitter on the Cape, and Austin Shenton comes to the batter's box. How about this? Through 22 games this season, a .435 average for Austin Shenton.
It's pretty decent.
69 at-bats, 30 hits, 16 runs, 5 doubles and 2 homers, including a 9th-inning home run at Bourne the other night. First pitch to him here, breaking ball up at the eyeballs, 1-0. Runner on at first, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Still got a scoreless tie here, from Spillane Field. Not only does Shenton hit the cover off the ball, he's also an on-base machine. On-base percentage at .529 this season. It is more likely that he will reach base than be retired. That is the sign of not only a great hitter, but also a very disciplined hitter.
Yeah, and especially at this juncture of the season. We're halfway through the regular season right now in the Cape League, and he has just not missed a beat. Nothing has slowed him down. The competition, the wood bats, he just keeps on moving.
2-1, and they're going to have Idens caught in a rundown. Throw down to second. He'll be meet there. So 1-3-6 on the putout of Jeremy Idens. That's the danger of having a left-hander on the mound. Good pickoff move, and it fooled Idens.
Yeah, and I think Idens was just a little bit lazy there, but not a bad move by Stone, moving back over to first base. And we've seen a couple of Gatemen beat out that play this year, but not this time for Idens. Just too lazy at first base.
So now instead of 1 on, 1 out, we've got none on, 2 out here against Austin Shenton, but he does have a 3-1 count against him. Three balls and a strike. He fouls off the 3-1 pitch, and now we're full at 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes to Shenton. Here's the pitch from Stone. Fastball outside off the plate. Austin Shenton with a 2-out walk keeps the Gatemen rally alive here. So 2 gone and 1 on for Lyle Lockhart Jr.
Not surprising to see the free pass to Shenton. He's drawn a bunch of those this year, and with 2 outs and first base open, Stone figuring, I'll take my chances with Lyle Lockhart, who has not done too well hitting right-handed this year, just 125 on the season for him when the switch hitter bats right against lefties.
Albeit in a much smaller sample size, but so many times we see switch hitters be much better from the left side of the plate. And that's mostly because you see right-handers more often, so you get to develop and work on your left-handed swing a lot more than you would normally. And although he's struggled this season, average at .220, the on-base percentage for Lyle Lockhart's at .385, so he might not have the best, I don't want to say not the best swing, but he, like Shenton, he's a very disciplined hitter. He works counts and works walks.
Yeah, and he's a smart guy at the plate. Like you said, he's drawing the walks. I mean, he's really patient up there. The average hasn't come through for him so far, but he does put together some good at-bats.
2-0 from Stone to Lockhart. That one finds the strike zone, now 2-1. This is the 13th game of the season for Lyle Lockhart. 9 hits, a triple, a home run, 9 RBIs for him. The triple coming against Bourne on Thursday night. 2-1 outside, 3-1. And it wasn't your normal triple that you typically see. Hitting one into the gap, and it just finds its way down. We thought it might have even been scored an error when it first happened, but he just laced one down the first base side, got under the glove of Spencer Horwitz at first, and they ended up ruling it a triple as it rattled around in right field. Skies this one just straight away center, though. Austin Langworthy nonchalantly catches it in his glove for the final out of the inning. So the Gatemen strand 1 at first after a 2-out walk from Austin Shenton. We're headed to the top of the second inning. Still no score from Spillane Field. The second inning coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Back at Spillane Field, top of the second inning. No score here on the Gatemen Baseball Network between the Gatemen and the Falmouth Commodores. Will Proctor back to the mound after an impressive 1-2-3 first inning. He'll now deal with 4, 5, 6. Meat of the order here for Falmouth: Stephen Williams, Kyle Stowers, and Cameron Cannon. Williams, the DH out of Auburn. We'll see left, right against the right-hander Will Proctor here, so an advantage in theory here for Falmouth. Lefty on righty matchups coming up for them. First pitch from Proctor to Williams, misses low, 1-0.
An interesting bit on Williams. You talked about Austin Langworthy's big walk-off homer for the Gators to send them through to the College World Series. It was actually Stephen Williams who was playing right field for Auburn that night, and the ball nicked off his glove and went over the fence for that walk-off homer. So these guys, now teammates, batting back-to-back in the order on the other ends of the spectrum in one of the biggest moments in college baseball this year.
Wonder how that first conversation went when they both got here.
Gotta be interesting. Both had the invites, too, during that at-bat. You think Williams is thinking about that out in right field?
I'm going to have this kid as my teammate.
Hope he doesn't go yard off us.
Then he really shouldn't have, in theory. Bounced off his glove and over the wall. 3-0 to him here, and Will Proctor misses with 4 straight out of the strike zone, so Stephen Williams on with a 4-pitch walk to start the second inning.
Right fielder number 37, Kyle Stowers from Stanford.
So Kyle Stowers, the left-handed bat from Stanford, playing right field tonight, strides in. Pretty big guy, 6'3", tall and lanky, 200 pounds, out of El Cajon, California, and Christian High School. First pitch from the right-hander, Proctor lays down a bunt. Proctor right in front, looks at second, now will throw on to first for the sure out. So the sacrifice bunt works to perfection for Kyle Stowers. Moves Stephen Williams up to second base, and now there's a runner on at second, and just one out for Cameron Cannon.
And that's the guy you want to get it to, even though it's your number 5 hitter who's bunting him down. Cameron Cannon with 6 RBI their last game, so this is the guy you want with a runner in scoring position in less than 2 outs if you're Falmouth.
6 RBIs, home run in that game. He's at 264 on the season after having a stellar year at Arizona. Hit 321 for the Wildcats. First pitch from Proctor to Cannon. Here it comes. Fastball, spoiled foul, 0-1. As Cam mentioned, 6 RBIs in that game against Kituit. He's playing his 20th game of the season tonight. He's got 16 on the year. That's second on the Cape. Austin Shenton has 17. Spencer Brickhouse of Bourne with 18. Cannon, not a guy you'd expect to have a ton of power, 5'10", 196. But he's just got a smooth, compact stroke. Has pretty good power to the gaps. Had 21 doubles this season for Arizona, toward the top of the country in that category. 2 triples, 8 homers, 50 RBIs. So, guy knows how to hit. He also gets on and at an alarming rate. 37 walks, 22 strikeouts. This time, though, he'll strike out, drop third strike, but Gian Martellini down to Lyle Lockhart for the putout, 2-3. First strikeout of the day for Will Proctor, and as always, it's brought to you by Lang XFRs and Bullard. the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
Big out there for Proctor against the dangerous Cannon. A couple of curveballs in a row. That last one breaking down in the dirt and getting him to fish. Not only do you not bring a run in, but you don't even advance that runner to third. And now there's 2 outs, and there's a lot less ways to get him in.
Now the Canadian Edward Julien strides in. Second baseman out of Auburn. A lot of SEC guys on this Falmouth roster. First pitch up to him is upstairs, 1-0. Julian struggling through his first 10 games this season. A .083 batting average. He's just 3 for 36 on the year. He does have 2 doubles, though, so when he gets a hold of one, he hits it a decent way. 6 RBIs for him. Coming off his freshman season with Auburn. 1-0. Fouled off into the glove, 1-1. Hit .275 this season for Auburn. The slugging percentage was very impressive, though. .556 slugging percentage. That's thanks in part to 7 doubles and 17 home runs. 6'1", 183, not a huge guy, but big left-handed power stroke for him. Bit of a free swinger. This one, though, just nubbed to Lyle Lockhart. Gloves it on a backhand, and as he races over to first for the final out of the inning. So Will Proctor allows a leadoff walk to Stephen Williams, but nothing doing after that for him. He's looked good through 2. We're headed to the bottom of the second. Gatemen trying to break open a scoreless tie when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority. Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Bottom of the second inning from Spillane Field. Still got a scoreless tie here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham and Falmouth doing battle for the second time this season. And Peyton Parks, the left-handed hitting third baseman from Kent State, will lead it off against the big left-hander Mitchell Stone out of Oklahoma State. Jeremy Idens with a leadoff single in the first, was then erased on a pickoff attempt, and then Austin Shenton, a 2-out walk, but nothing doing for the Gatemen. Still a little bit baffled by Mitchell Stone. As we mentioned, had a stellar outing against the Gatemen the last time these two teams faced off. First pitch from Stone to Parks is up and away for a ball, 1-0. First time these two are getting a look at each other. Parks not on the roster the last time these two teams faced off, but has been finding his stride of late. He was our player of the game after the 13-1 win over Bourne. 3 RBIs, couple of doubles, for him. Really has started to find the right gear and is really coming to his own over the last couple of days. Hitting .259 on the season. At one point, that average was down at 167 just a couple of days ago. So continuing to build up and find his stride here on the Cape. Fouls off a tough 2-1 breaking ball. 2-2 now. Parks has 2 doubles on the season, both of them coming against the Bourne Braves on Thursday. Also a home run for him. 6 RBIs, 5 walks, 5 Ks, 375 on base. Looks at a 2-2 fastball right in at the knees. Strikeout number 1 for Mitchell Stone. And there's 1 gone for Gian Martellini.
That's a deadly pitch by Stone there. Just completely pulls the string on one on the inside corner to a lefty. Nothing Parks is going to be able to do with that. And the catcher Handley knew right away that was going to be a called strike 3. Was throwing it down before the call was even made.
So one gone for Gian Martellini here. First pitch to the BC catchers, a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. Stone finding himself in a groove here, looking to work quickly. Martellini trying to take a breather in the box. Last time we saw Martellini did not play against Bourne on Thursday, so the last time we saw him was on Tuesday against his former team, the Katuitt Cavaliers. Just had a big long home run. The late innings of that game to really shore up a win for the Gatemen. So Martellini, after being on the preseason roster, played one game for the Gatemen, then was released. And then once Michael Amditas left, brought back to the roster, trying to find the right kind of mindset to have here on the Cape, still really working into a groove. Hasn't been able to really get much going here. His count is 2-2 against him. Two-strike pitch is swung on, taken the other way into right field, and down for a base hit. So Gian Martellini, as he's gotten some more at-bats, has shown off the bat he really displayed last season when he led BC in slugging percentage, and he's on at first with one out for Ryan Kreidler.
That's a similar pitch that Stone was able to strike out Parks on. Obviously that was on the inside corner to the lefty Parks, outside to Martellini. And he just doesn't try to do too much with it, shoots it the other way, takes that pitch on the outside corner and knows it's easier for him to shoot it into right field than pull it to left. Gets a solid base hit out of it.
Another guy that Mitchell Stone hasn't seen yet, Ryan Kreidler, the right-handed shortstop out of UCLA. Takes the first pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. Kreidler, after starting off red hot, has cooled down a bit for the Gatemen, 237, and this is his 12th appearance of the season for Wareham. Kreidler has 11 hits, 2 doubles, 8 RBIs on the season. 7 RBIs on the season. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. On base percentage at .310. Martellini being held on at first by Davis Sims. Sun is bathing most of the field here at Spillane. Third baseman Cameron Cannon in shade. Every other position player aside from the catcher Maverick Handley is in sunlight. So Davis Sims is trying to hold off the sun while also holding on Martellini. And a guy that's not that fast on at first. Attempted a pickoff, but he's back in standing up. Second time Stone has worked with somebody on today. Last time Jeremy Idens was off, but it was picked off by Mitchell Stone, the combination of Stone, Sims, and Logan Davidson. 1-3-6 on the pickup. 2-1 low, 3-1 now to Ryan Kreidler. So the pickoff move is devastating for Mitchell Stone. Maybe not devastating. Devastating might not be the right word, but certainly effective in practice thus far. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch from the big left-hander misses inside to Ryan Kreidler. So on with a 1-out walk is Kreidler. Those runners at first and second with still just 1 out for one of the hottest hitters in the Cape League, Isaac Collins.
Yeah, Collins has really found his stride since being reinserted into the lineup as a right fielder. He's hitting almost 500 in his games in right field for the Gatemen. Another couple of hits last time out against the Braves. He's really starting to heat up from both sides of the plate.
Average was hovering just a shade over 200 just about a week ago, and now it's all the way up to 303 on the season. Much more respectable clip for the switch-hitting, typically middle infielder, but turned right fielder this season for the Gatemen out of Creighton. He's got 10 hits, a double, a home run, so not a ton of power, but he is just 5'10", 185 pounds. On base percentage is also stellar at .425 on the year. Pretty good walk numbers, 6 walks, just 9 strikeouts for him. Good disciplined hitter at the plate. Would you be surprised to see him lay one down here with 1 out and possibly put himself in a sacrifice situation?
I would, as he swings and misses at this one. I would be a little surprised because I'm not a huge fan of the sack bunt anyway, and I think Collins is one of your hottest hitters right now. I think you let him swing away and take his chances, especially with one out. And with Skylar Hunter on deck, a guy who's been struggling, I think you let Collins take his chances here.
So a ball and 2 strikes to him. The pitch swung on, chopped right at the third baseman. Cannon onto second for 1 and onto first. In time, a double play.
Yeah, should have bunted.
5-4-3 on the put out of Isaac Collins, and that will do it for the bottom of the second inning. So the Gatemen leave one stranded after a one-out single from Gian Martellini and a one-out walk from Ryan Kreidler. Tough end to the inning for the Gatemen and Isaac Collins. 1 hit, the second of the day for the Gatemen, coming across in the inning. It's been a relatively impressive start here for the Gatemen, and one guy who has been impressive all season for Wareham is Austin Shenton. He's now with our very own Mary Orders on the sidelines.
Their Pawtucket Red Sox box seats.
Thanks, guys. So, Austin, we're about halfway through the season, and you're leading the league in batting average. What's been working for you so far?
Honestly, just staying true to my approach at the plate and just trying to be on time for everything the pitcher throws at me and just competing every day.
And moving forward into the rest of the season, do you have any goals that you're focusing on or team goals?
As a team, just want to win every day. Obviously, it's an impossible task in baseball, but just compete every day and get better every day for the rest of the season, and hopefully when we look back on it, it'll be a successful season.
And do you have any personal things you're trying to work on?
Just continue to do what I'm doing and just continue to be mentally there and just stay mentally strong throughout this process, because baseball is a tough game mentally and it'll wear you down, but I think just my mental approach, just continue to work on that. And physically, just improve every day, fielding, hitting, whatever aspect I can improve on, I want to improve.
Austin, thanks so much, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Mary, as always. Great season for Austin Shenton, a much-deserved day off in the field at least today, but you can't have a guy that's hitting .435 with an above 500 on-base percentage not at least hit in a game like today's, especially in a West Division matchup, an all-important divisional matchup with Hyannis still nipping at your heels in second place, but always good to hear from Austin Shenton, always good to see what he does on the field. He has had an absolutely stellar season for the Gatemen. Will Proctor back to the mound. His first pitch to the big Davis Sims out of Murray State is waved on and missed, 0-1.
And we've seen a lot of these days where Shenton is DHing, and I think Don Snedden's really okay with that. He is a good defensive third baseman, but then again, so is Paven Parks, who's another guy who keeps heating up, and you want his bat in the lineup as well. So very easy to plug him in at third base and give Shenton DH duties, and they've been switching off on it almost regularly now.
And really the only positions where we've seen some regularity for the Gatemen is first base and right field over the last couple of days. And I guess you could say third base as well. Usually you'll see Austin Shenton at third, but Lyle Lockhart has pretty much plugged himself in as the everyday first baseman. And really Isaac Collins has almost plugged himself in as the everyday right fielder for Wareham.
Well, certainly the numbers he's put up since he's been out there, that has been the case. We saw Drew Millis out there for a game to give Collins a day off, but I think that's his spot. I think you're right.
And Davis Sims looks at strike number 3. Second strikeout of the day for Will Proctor. And as always, brought to you by Lang XFRs and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Gatemen. So 1 up, 1 down here in the third for Falmouth. And Will Brennan, representing the bottom of the order, strides in out of Kansas State. Proctor has worked through some problems, not even problems, just some tough situations through the first 2 innings, was stellar in inning number 1, then gave up a leadoff walk on 4 pitches to Stephen Williams and went on to retire the next 3 in a row. So he has faced a little bit of adversity today versus Falmouth and has done a nice job to stave it off. 0-1 the count to Brennan. The pitch home, misses low, 1-1.
Yeah, and especially after that leadoff walk, they sacrificed him over to second with a guy like Cameron Cannon coming up, the man on second and 1 out. That is a bit of adversity for Proctor, and he was able to fly through it. Got a strikeout and then a ground ball from Edouard Julien, a guy who's an RBI man himself.
1-1, hit back up the middle, but right into the glove of Ryan Kreidler. his throw on to first in time for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here in the third for Falmouth. Now back to the top of the order with Logan Davidson. Davidson 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to the second baseman, Sahid Valenzuela, to get this game started. But he is a guy that can pop some power into his bat. He's hitting just .226 on the season, but he does have a home run and 5 RBIs. So there is some pop in his switch hitting bat, this time batting from the left side against the right-hander Proctor, the Clemson Tiger. First pitch to him, called strike 0-1. This season for Davidson, though, was really impressive at Clemson, especially out of the shortstop position. Not really a typical power spot, but 18 doubles and 15 home runs for him this year. Slugging percentage at .544. One of the participants in the College World Series home run hitting contest out in Omaha that Parker Phillips also competed in. Proctor has done a good job with him here. He's got him down 0-2 with 2 outs in the third. Here comes the 2-strike pitch from Proctor. Nice pitch upstairs on a fastball, 1-2. Pretty much everything about Logan Davidson except his glove screams this guy shouldn't be a shortstop. 6'3", 185, big power bat. Hits from the left side. But you know, he has just shown such a great glove and such a commanding presence at shortstop, which is really, I guess you could say, considered to be the most difficult defensive position in the infield. Clemson has trusted him, and now Falmouth trusts him as well. And he looks at a 2-2 fastball on the outside corner for strike number 3. Third strikeout of the day for Will Proctor, and that ends the third inning in style. As always, that strikeout brought to you by Lang XFRs and Bullard. The Commodores go 1-2-3 in the third. We're headed to the bottom half of the inning, still a scoreless tie here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Back at Spillane Field here in the middle of the third inning, and as always, it's about that time for Cape Cod Baseball League. Look around the Cape right now out in Cotuit. The Kettleers bouncing back from a couple of blowout losses. They lead the Hyannis Arborhawks 8-2 in the top of the 7th. At Stony Brook, the Brewster Whitecaps. How about them Whitecaps? 6-4 lead over the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. At Doran Park in Bourne, a 2-1 lead for the Bourne Braves over the Orleans Firebirds. And then out at Veterans Field, just underway in Chatham, the Anglers and the Harwich Mariners knotted in a scoreless tie. So some good outcomes on the board for the Gatemen right now, with Cotuit holding a lead over Hyannis as Skylar Hunter sprays a looping single into center field for a base hit.
All the more reason Isaac Collins should have bunted. I've been saying it all along.
Have you? Pretty sure you said don't bunt.
We can check the tape on it. But Skylar Hunter getting back in form there with a nice piece of hit and takes one to nearly the opposite field, left center for the the right-hander. So any way you can get him at this point.
And that's coming off a day in which he went 2 for 3 from the plate. Nice bounce back day for him. Also an RBI against Bourne. So he has started to round a bit back into form. And when I say back into form, this has been the best stretch of baseball he's played over the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, we really thought it was coming at some point. A guy who hit over 330 during the regular season in the Big Ten. Knew it was just about time, and it's looking like it's starting to come.
0-1 to Idens, hit back up the middle. Julien on a dive, onto second for one, onto first. Not in time for the double play. So it will be a 4-6 put out. 4-6 fielder's choice for Jeremy Idens. Skylar Hunter erased. And now there's a runner on at first and one out for Sahid Valenzuela. Ball was hit well, just a little bit, not even a little bit too close to the second baseman, but not only they were playing for the double play, they were at double play depth, so they were shading toward the bag already. So really, if there wasn't a runner on at first there, that could have been a single at the very least for Jeremy Idens.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Julien playing up the middle. It almost kind of handcuffs him too. He's down to his knees to get it, and I think just that little hiccup was what got Idens down to first base.
Idens was slightly above average speed, but not a speedster as maybe a Sahid Valenzuela or an Isaac Collins is, or a Skylar Hunter even. So it is going to take something when the ball is hit that hard up the middle for him to reach. And that something was a little bit of fumbling from Edward Julien. But he ended up coming up with it and at least got one out of it and got the lead runner, which is always the most important part of any attempted double play. 0-2 now to Sahid Valenzuela as he fouls one off, 0-2, one out. Bottom of the third inning. Gatemen trying to break a scoreless tie here from Spillane Field. Very different than the last time these two teams met. Some scoring right away, right off the top for Falmouth. But they haven't been able to figure out Will Proctor yet today. Stolen another pickoff attempt over toward Jeremy Idens.
Yeah, that game at Gov Fuller was 3-0 at the end of the first inning and could have been more. Commodores left a couple of guys on base against Justin Glover in that inning. They went up 3, and the Gatemen just gradually chipped away at that lead, and finally a big 7th inning gave them the win.
Now they have Idens caught again, and he is gunned down once more. So Jeremy Idens has had a tough time reading Mitchell Stone. It's the second time that he's going to be picked off 1 to 3 to 6. He's reached base twice, but he's been picked off that exact same way both times.
And I think that might be a lesson learned if you're Jeremy Idens or the Gatemen coaching staff there. Maybe don't try something the next time he gets on base.
0-2 to Valenzuela. It's flared over the glove of Mitchell Stone. Racing play in from Logan Davidson, but he's not going to be able to pick it up on a couple of bounces. So Sahid Valenzuela reaches. We'll have to see how they score it, although it would have been a tough play either way for Logan Davidson.
Yeah, perfectly placed by Sahid Valenzuela. Stone has to come across the mound to try and get it, and it's tough to loop one over that big 6'9" frame, but he just does. And by the time Logan Davidson is charged on it, Valenzuela's already down to first base. Nothing he can do about it.
So after a pair of caught stealings for Jeremy Idens, one in the first, one here in the third, there's still a runner at first with 2 outs here against Mitchell Stone. Sahid Valenzuela will be scored a single as a wild pitch gets away under the glove of Maverick Handley, and moving up to second is Valenzuela. So for the first time today, the Gatemen have a runner in scoring position. I should say the second time today, the Gatemen with a runner in scoring position, but with 2 outs. Austin Shenton, the batter, 1-0 count to him. Walked back in the first inning, so no official at-bat today. Talked with our Mary orders in the last half inning. Doing the DHing today. Also the new host of a new segment here on the Gatemen Baseball Network we will have out later tonight. Dugout Dirt with Austin Shenton. He'll get to sit down with a couple of his teammates and chat things over with them. Maybe ask some questions that we wouldn't normally ask that Shenton might have a little bit more insight on.
I'll tell you, Shenton got right down to the tough questions. Big J journalism from him today.
FIU, not the biggest communication school out there, but hey, what the heck? If you know how to ask them, and it stumps some people, that's good journalism right there.
He's certainly working on that craft. He's also really likes this position. Guys in scoring position with 2 outs, normally guys would shake at that, but Austin Shenton, even 500 average, 8 for 16 on the year, so a pretty good sample size for him as well. Produced 7 RBI in that span as well.
He's done it in every situation, not just with runners in scoring position, but he has been incredibly impressive. 3-1 pitch to him here. Breaking ball dips in right at the knees for a strike, 3-2. The scary part is you mentioned 500. That's not even that far away from his average in every situation. Coming into this game at 435. We harp on it a lot, but he has been incredible this year. They don't even want to pitch to him. Second walk in a row for Austin Shenton. Runners at first and second now for Lyle Lockhart.
Number 18, Lyle Lockhart from Houston.
Yeah, they'll definitely take their chances with Lyle Lockhart in pretty much any situation, but again, I'll pull up this one, scoring position with 2 outs, 125 average for Lockhart, who's already 0 for 1 today.
Been placed in this situation quite a bit. 8 at-bats for him. And he's got just 41 at-bats on the season, so as the runner goes, Zahid Valenzuela off, but it's fouled off. Looked like it might have been the hit and run there for the Gatemen as both Zahid Valenzuela and Austin Shenton were off, but it's fouled off by Lyle Lockhart, and the count is 0-1.
I think they figure Stone coming off a walk is going to want to start Lockhart off with a strike. He's already had success against him today, so why not throw the hit and run in there? That time, Lockhart just not able to straighten the swing out and fouls it off.
So 0-1 in the count against the Houston Cougar from the Oklahoma State Cowboy. Pitch misses low and away, 1-1. Lockhart 0 for 1 today, ended the first inning with a runner on at first. Fly down to center field, fairly deep center field. He has some pop, and we've seen it over the last couple of days. He just hasn't been able to find the gaps in the defense as much as some other hitters on this Gatemen team have.
Yeah, it's been a guy like we talked about Skylar Hunter, that it's going to be there. With Hunter with average, I think with Lockhart it's going to be there with production. The guy who's protecting Austin Shenton right now with Bryant Packard still gone with Team USA. This week or so, week and a half, is going to be crucial for Lyle Lockhart to start driving in some runs for the Gatemen.
1-2. Attempted frame jump by Maverick Hanley, I think, is the best way to put a positive spin on that one. That one was well out of the zone before he tried to jerk it back in, but home plate umpire wasn't fooled. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that was ambitious. That was well outside.
Lockhart with 9 RBIs on the season, trying to deliver at least number 10 here. Now Maverick Hanley will head out and have a chat with Mitchell Stone, and the size disparity between Maverick Hanley and Mitchell Stone is quite funny. Nearly a foot difference between those two guys. Mitchell Stone at 6'9", Hanley at 5'10". That is 11 inches different. Plus you got Mitchell Stone out there on the bumps on an elevated surface.
It is a little comical to see. Me, as a vertically challenged man myself, don't find it as funny, but I can see the humor in it.
2-2 the count here to Lyle Lockhart. The pitch from Mitchell Stone. Inside, 3-2. So full count, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Gatemen trying to break a scoreless tie here from Spillane Field. Should Lyle Lockhart find a way on base? Pavin Parks is due up next. 3-2 runners off. It's fouled off, though. It's hit so hard that it actually rips a zip tie off. One of the signs here at Spillane. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mitchell Stone already ready to go as Lyle Lockhart steps back in. Another payoff pitch from the big lefty is swung on and popped up back and right. Maverick Hanley gives it a look, but it will get out of play and into the first base bleachers. So Lockhart doing a good job, fouling off a couple of tough pitches, fighting to stay alive, and he's still got a 3-ball, 2-strike count against him. Again, Pavin Parks in the on-deck circle. Austin Shenton at first. Saheed Valenzuela at second base. Couple of looks over from Mitchell Stone. But both Shenton and Valenzuela back in time with nobody covering at either bag. Another full count offering from Stone. Again fouled off by Lyon Lockhart. Stays alive here 3-2.
We talked about it his last time up. He puts together these good at-bats. He's really making Stone work here after he walks a guy and gives up a single with 2 outs and thinks he's going to get Lockhart out easily. That's why he walked an intentional walk to Austin Shenton, but Lockhart's really made him work and keeps this inning alive and drives that pitch count up.
Third full count offering, waved on and missed. Nasty breaking ball from Mitchell Stone, and the side is retired. So the Gatemen leave 2 stranded here in the third. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning, still no score on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Top of the 4th inning from Spillane Field. Will Proctor back to the mound. He has been nearly untouchable, facing just 1 over the minimum through 3 innings. It'll be 2, 3, 4 against him here. Maverick Hanley, Austin Langworthy, and Stephen Williams for Falmouth.
Proctor's had everything going today. The only base runner was that leadoff walk in the second to Stephen Williams. It was a 4-pitch walk. And he settled in after that, gave up a sacrifice, then a strikeout and a ground out, and then a 1-2-3 third with a couple more Ks. So that confidence certainly isn't wavering for Proctor in this one.
So Maverick Hanley, the catcher from Stanford, leads off against the right-hander Proctor, who has had success this season against Falmouth. The first outing gave up just 1 earned run. None thus far, as the first pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Hanley 0 for 1 today, one of 3 ground-out victims in the first inning against Proctor. Grounded out 5-3 to the third baseman Paven Parks back in the first inning. 0-2 with the count against him here. As we mentioned, 5'10", 195 out of Stanford. Hit just .231 this season for the Cardinal. 2-strike pitch from Proctor is swung on and popped up into shallow right field. Isaac Collins and Saheed Valenzuela converging, and Collins is there to make the play for out number 1.
Always a tough play there for those guys on the right side to battle the sun. And good communication by Collins, who again is not too used to right field. He played a bit of corner outfield last summer in the Northwoods League. But good on him for he's the one coming in the whole way, calling off Valenzuela. So there's no collision or a drop ball out there.
It was a good job from Saheed Valenzuela also to get down. He folded right away as soon as he heard Collins calling for the ball. Austin Langworthy takes a first pitch breaking ball outside. 1-0 to the center fielder from Florida, who is 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to Will Proctor back in the first inning. 2-0 now to him as a fastball rides out of the zone. Langworthy had a great season this year for the Gators, hit .290. On base percentage was even more impressive, .404 with a .403 slugging percentage, so the OPS at .807 on the year for Langworthy. 10 doubles, 2 triples, 4 homers. One of those home runs, as we mentioned, coming in the Super Regional against Auburn. First round pick of the Reds in 2016. Trying to get himself in front of more scouts, maybe see that draft stock bump up a bit as he heads into his junior season. 2-1 in there for a strike, 2-2 now. All 3 outfielders tonight for the Falmouth Commodores left-handed batters. Also, all 3 of them all left-handed throwers as well. Not something you see every day out in the outfield. So a full count, 3-2 to the left-handed hitting Austin Langworthy out of Florida. Pitch home from Proctor. Good breaking ball, but it misses low. So a 1-out walk for Langworthy. There's a runner on at first and nobody out for Stephen Williams. And 1 man out for Stephen Williams.
And that's a pitch we've seen Stone feature a couple times, that big breaking ball on the inside half to a lefty. It's tough for them to lay off and tough for them to do anything with it if it breaks right other than ground it to the second baseman. But that time, Langworthy with the discipline to lay off it and get the walk.
So Langworthy on at first, decent speed there. First pitch into Stowers out of Stanford, misses low, good block from Martellini, 1-0. Should say this is Stephen Williams out of Auburn. DH, already walked once today on a 4-pitch walk to lead off the second inning against the right-hander Proctor. Another all-SEC matchup. Delivers a 1-0 fastball in the outer half for a called strike, 1-1. Williams had a great season this year at Auburn, .291 in his freshman year with the Tigers. Sprays that one high and deep into left field, but Jeremy Idens has a beat on it the whole way and gloves it for the second out. So 2 gone now in the 4th inning here for Falmouth. Runner on at first is Austin Langworthy, and Kyle Stowers, the right fielder out of Stanford, strides in. Stowers a sac bunt in his first plate appearance back in the 2nd inning. Moved Stephen Williams up to second, but Falmouth couldn't do anything with him after that. Flares one foul to the left side, but it will get out of play as it bounces off Wareham Middle School. Stowers hit .286 this season for the Stanford Cardinal. Slugging percentage at .510 with 10 doubles, 3 triples, and 10 homers. Also pitched. ERA of 0 in 4 games. Oh, 1 the count to him here. Runner on at first is Austin Langworthy being held on by Lyle Lockhart. 0-1 is swung on and missed. Looked like the hit and run might have been on there, but the runner on at first, Austin Langworthy, decided to hold back, and now that puts Stowers in a hole as he chased one out of the zone.
Yeah, and it's a good hold up there by Langworthy because Martellini was up and throwing on a fastball in the outer half. It's a good ball for him to throw on, so he's lucky he wasn't going down.
1-2 now to Stowers. Waste pitch away from Will Proctor. Sun's still shining brightly, but beginning to set out toward left field. Most of the infield now in shade. Most of the outfield, though, still in sunlight, as this one is squared away right back toward us. That'll make you jump. Plexiglass is there. Thank goodness for Tom Gay, our president, who had a couple of weeks ago after it fell, came out and replaced the zip ties on it because we would have been dead meat up here if that plexiglass wasn't there.
Would have had to make a call to the bullpen.
Two calls to the bullpen.
One of us at least would have gone out.
1-2 is in the dirt. Running on the pitch was Langworthy. Still a pretty good throw from John Martellini, but in there with a stolen base is Austin Langworthy.
Yeah, this one just getting away from Martellini. And good recovery to get it down there, and it was closer play than I would have thought, but that's easy for Langworthy to get down there on the stolen base.
So runner in scoring position now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kyle Stowers in the batter's box. The pitch to him is swung on and roped into center field. An in-for base hit. Langworthy around third. He'll score from second base. And Falmouth takes a 1-0 lead on an RBI single from Kyle Stowers.
And that becomes a crucial play in the inning, obviously. Here with 2 outs. That ball getting away from Martellini and allowing Langworthy to go down. They were trying the hit and run anyway, but he gets the stolen base the easy way. And because of that, Stowers is able to bring in a run with that solid single.
They'll actually score this one a wild pitch that allowed Langworthy to move up to second, so no stolen base for Langworthy, but still an earned run for Will Proctor. First pitch in to Cameron Cannon is a breaking ball in the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Cannon 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging back in the second inning and then was put out 2-3 on the drop third strike. 0-1 outside, again away from Martellini. Stowers moving from first to second, in with the slide. No tag applied from Sahid Valenzuela. So second wild pitch of the inning for Will Proctor. And really over the last 2 or 3 innings, we've kind of seen his command slip a little bit.
Yeah, that stuff's breaking a bit too much. I think more than even Proctor would like. And another one moves another guy into scoring position. And you've got a dangerous hitter at the plate here in Cannon. This could easily be 2-0 right now.
Cannon with 6 RBIs last time out against Katuitt on Thursday. Trying to pick up the first one of this game today, but he skies this one foul down the first base side. And in there to make the catch is Lyle Lockhart. That will end the inning. But not before the Commodores take a 1-0 lead on an RBI single from Kyle Stowers. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. The Gatemen will look to tie it up, or maybe even take the lead. Coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program.
One to nothing Commodores in the bottom of the 4th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham back to the bats here against Mitchell Stone, who has looked nearly unstoppable, the big lefty out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he's really had things working against the Gatemen. He's only struck out 2, but he keeps leaving runners on base. He's pitched really well with guys on the base paths for the Gatemen. Left 2 stranded in the last inning with a big strikeout of the cleanup hitter Lyle Lockhart. Hasn't challenged Austin Shenton too much, a couple of walks to him, but has found other ways of getting the Gatemen out and leaving those guys on base.
I think that's so important when you know you've got to pitch around a guy. You've got to be extra good against everybody else, and that's what Mitchell Stone has done tonight. He's got Paven Parks to go 0 for 1, one of the hotter hitters on this Gatemen team. But a 2-0 count to him here. Parks struck out swinging for one of one of 2 strikeouts on the day for Mitchell Stone. Strikeout of Lyle Lockhart and a strikeout of Pavin Parks thus far for the big lefty. He's 3-0 now to Parks. Parks out of Kent State. You got to figure he's taking all the way here, right? Try to get a runner on base.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially a guy who's 0 for 1.
3-0 outside. Pavin Parks thought he might have heard strike called. Started trotting back into the batter's box. Not very often you see that. So he's on with a 4-pitch walk to lead off the 4th inning, with Gian Martellini behind him.
That's a different one for sure. I mean, we've seen quite a few guys this year in the Cape League, in the games we've done, who have to get hooked back in by the home plate umpire trying to go down to first base. That time, Pavin Parks just wanted a little bit of confirmation before he headed down there.
So runner on at first and nobody out here for Gian Martellini. He's got a hit so far. 1 for 1 with a single back in the 2nd inning. Moved up to second base before the inning was ended on an Isaac Collins double play ball. The 1-0 is waved on and missed. Big fastball from Stone. Not too often we see him blow one of those by a hitter. It's 1-1. Martellini out of Boston College. Good pop. About a 390-foot home run at Katuitt back on Tuesday, the day before the 4th of July. Last year led the Boston College Eagles in slugging percentage. Also hit .302 as a sophomore. 1-1 low, 2-1. This season a bit more of a struggle for him. Hit just .230 in his junior season. 9 doubles, 2 triples. Still 4 home runs for him, though, in just 47 games. Short lead for Pavin Parks being held on there by Davis Sims. 2-1 fastball upstairs, 3-1 now. This is kind of where we saw Will Proctor start to unravel in the last half inning. Started missing pitches up and out of the zone. Now Mitchell Stone is following suit here.
Yeah, and with Stone, that pitch count going up above 60, 64 as it stands right now. When you start to tire, you do start to leave pitches out of the zone, and you usually leave them up. And most guys are going to make you pay for that, especially right-handed hitters. A guy with power like Martellini.
3-1 up and in. It's another walk for the Gatemen. 9 pitches, 8 out of the strike zone here for Mitchell Stone in the 4th. So now runners at first and second for Ryan Kreidler.
Because of that, we're just starting to see a guy get loose down in that Falmouth bullpen. Another lefty starting to warm up down there. We'll see how much longer Stone has in this game.
He's put runners at first and second with back-to-back walks to lead off this 4th inning. Ryan Kreidler has also walked in this game so far, so we've seen a lot of strikeouts from Stone this season, but we've also seen walks be a problem. Kreidler lays down a sacrifice bunt. It's a good one. Moves the runners up to second and third. He's put out 2 to 3. But the sac bunt gets the job done. Both runners into scoring position for Isaac Collins.
It's a sacrifice bunt so good it almost became a bunt base hit for Kreidler, right where you want it, down that third base line to try and leg it out. But big lanky Mitchell Stone is able to get over there and make the out. But nonetheless, a couple guys in scoring position here for a hot hitter like Isaac Collins. Gotta like where you are if you're the Gatemen trying to respond.
Lots of ways to get Pavin Parks in from third here with runner on and less than 2 outs. First pitch breaking ball to Collins, 0-1.
Pitcher warming up for Falmouth looks to be Mitchell Miller, the left-hander, who also appeared in that game against the Gatemen earlier on in the season.
0-1 to Collins. Setup was outside, but it came in. Fights it off. It's 0-2. .6'9" Stone, 5'10" Collins. Neither guys with tons of power, though, even though Stone is so big. 0-2, 1 out. Both runners in scoring position at second and third. Outside pitch, misses where it wanted to. 1-2. 1-2 the count. Collins in the batter's box. Runner at third, the pitch home is swung on, hit back up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Parks scores from third. Being waved around third is Martellini. The throw comes in, it leads him up the line, and he scores. Isaac Collins with 2 RBIs, and the Gatemen take a 2-1 lead.
Good hitting by a confident hitter, Isaac Collins. Gets in that 2-strike count, falls behind 0-2. No Stone's going to waste one, lays off it. Stone comes back in the zone, and he just shoots it right up the middle, knows he's going to score both. No chance for the center fielder Langworthy to get either runner, but especially the trail runner there at the plate. And it just keeps getting better for Isaac Collins this week.
We'll have to see how they score it, but it was certainly a single. Probably to move up to second on the throw, but we will wait for that call from our official score, but nonetheless, still the outcome you want if you're the Gatemen. A 2-1 lead for Wareham here. Now the pitching coach for Falmouth will come out, and he's looking down to the bullpen, and it looks like they will indeed make the call. So Mitchell Stone, the big left-hander, looks like his day should be done here, and it will be. Mitchell Miller coming into the game, the left-hander out of Clemson. We'll have everything you need to know about him after we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored.
From one left-handed Mitchell to another, Mitchell Stone gives the ball off to Mitchell Miller here for the Commodores on the Gatemen Baseball Network. A 2-1 lead for the Wareham Gatemen over Falmouth here from Spillane Field. And as you mentioned, Cam, we've already seen Mitchell Miller once this season, so they're going with the exact same combination they did the last time out here for the Commodores.
Yeah, and it didn't exactly work for them last time in that 7-4 loss, and right now it's coming back to bite them in a shutdown inning. Mitchell Stone is giving up 2. He's still responsible for Isaac Collins at second. And last time Miller pitched against the Gatemen, that game back on June 15th at Gov Fuller Field, went 2 1/3 and gave up 3 runs and walked 3 in his 11 batters faced, so he wasn't very effective in that one either. So interesting to see if he's able to bounce back. Stone roughed up more than he was last time against the Gatemen. He's still on the hook here. Can't close the book on him just yet, and the Gatemen trying to build on this 2-1 lead.
Skylar Hunter, who's been much better of late, strides in. Switch hitter batting right out of Purdue to face the Clemson Tiger on the mound. Mitchell Miller, one of 3 Clemson players on this Falmouth roster. First pitch of the day for Miller, looping curveball in on the outer half for a strike, 0-1. So the fourth has been the scoring inning thus far. Falmouth with 1 in the top half. Now Gatemen with 2 in the bottom half on an RBI single from Isaac Collins.
And if I'm not mistaken, on Miller, the first time we saw him, I believe he was the poet formerly known as Jonathan Mitchell Miller.
He was.
Decided to just pick one of them, I guess.
He did.
Makes it easier for us.
0-2 is hit back up the middle on a hop. Nice backhand by Julian. His throw over to first is in time. That's a tough play, but Isaac Collins moves up to third with 2 outs.
That's a really nice play there by Julien. Not much time to react to it. Has to go to the opposite side on the backhand and take it on a hop. Stays on his feet to throw to first. That probably should have been an RBI single for Skylar Hunter, but instead got 2 outs and Collins still standing at third.
So top of the order for the Gatemen, Jeremy Idens, the right-hander out of UCLA. He's 1 for 2 today. Singled back in the first and reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Bounced out 4-6 back in that third inning, but both times he's reached base, he's been picked off by Mitchell Stone 1-3-6. And caught stealing twice by technicality in this game. 0-1. Fastball with some inside to outside run that time from Miller. 0-2.
Yeah, not something you often see from a left-hander. That fastball starting in towards the knees of Idens, then breaking out towards the middle of the plate. Real good pitch.
0-2. Misses low, although it was located well on the outer half. 1-2 now. So the runner at third is Isaac Collins. 2 RBI single for him. Jeremy Idens trying to keep this inning alive and driving Collins with 2 strikes against him. 1-2. Called strike 3 on the inner half. And that's how the fourth will end for the Gatemen. They strand a runner at third, but they do score 2 on a 2 RBI single from Isaac Collins. We're headed to the top of the 5th inning, a 2-1 lead for the Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs. The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
Top of the 5th from Spillane Field. Gatemen now with a 2-1 lead over the Falmouth Commodores after a 2-run single from Isaac Collins back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Will Proctor back to the mound. Struggled a bit in the 4th, but other than that had looked pretty good through the first 3 innings. He will deal with 7, 8, 9, Edward Julian, Davis Sims, and Will Brennan here for Falmouth. Julian out of Quebec, Canada. Quebec City, to be more specific. Grounded out 3 unassisted in his first at bat today. He's 0 for 1. Good breaking ball there from Proctor to get him started. 0-1 the count.
From Quebec City all the way down to Auburn, Alabama, had a historic freshman year for the Tigers. Drove in 69, which is a new Auburn freshman record that was set back in 1987 by Hall of Famer Frank Thomas.
Not a bad guy to beat out.
It's pretty decent. That'll earn you freshman All-American.
Certainly did. Also an SEC All-Freshman team member. Has really gotten off to a great start in his collegiate career. It's been a bit of a struggle on the Cape League, but he is batting here against the amalgamation of the best talent in the country. He played in the SEC and played incredibly well, but now you got SEC 1s and 2s going against you. Waves and misses at a 1-2 breaking pitch from Will Proctor. Strikeout number 3 for him. As always, brought to you by Lang XFR and Bullard. I should say that's strikeout number 4. The official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. 1 up, 1 down here for Falmouth against Will Proctor. And Davis Sims, who was also a strikeout victim, back in the 3rd, strides in. First pitch low, 1-0 to him. Sims, the big right-hander out of Murray State, hitting just .250 on the season, and this is 19th game with Falmouth, but he certainly knows how to hit 357 this year with the Racers. 1-0 outside, 2-0 now. All Ohio Valley Conference second team, so there's got to be some first base, third base combination that is somehow better than 357 with an OPS over 1,000. Not sure where you find that, but get him on a team. Get him here quick.
That's pretty tough luck second team for you.
The 2-0 for the right-hander Proctor, fouling off. Got him to chase a pitch that looked like it might have been up and out of the zone, 2-1. 29 doubles this season for Sims. Just one back of the collegiate lead that Bryson Stott had. 29 two-baggers, 1 triple, and 6 homers for the 6'4", 220-pounder out of Paducah, Kentucky. 2-1, good pitch on the inner half, 2-2. Two strikes against him here once again. Already has struck out once. The 2-2 pitch is bounced foul down the third base side. Haven Parks waited till the last minute to make sure that one would get by him. It's still 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here to Davis Sims, the pitch home for the right-hander Proctor. Checked his swing, appealed down to the first base umpire. He did not go and will have a full count. The reason Davis Sims was not first-team OVC, couple Tennessee Tech guys that had some pretty monster seasons ahead of him. Chase Chambers at first base, as well as Trevor Putzig at third base, both out of Tennessee Tech. Team that led the nation in home runs, so some pretty big bats ahead of him. So the average might not have been as good for Putzig and Chambers, but when you hit a lot of bombs, that'll help you out.
Yeah, and that Tennessee Tech team could really, really mash, so I'm not too surprised that you mentioned both those guys came from there.
2-1, looks like it might have hit off the knob of the bat, or excuse me, the 3-2 I should say. So we'll do it again at a full count. Yeah, Putzig 17 home runs, so it's kind of tough to beat him out, and Chase Chambers had one of the better years in the country. 3-2 to Sims, fouled off. We'll do it again at a full count. Looking at Chase Chambers' numbers this year. Yeah, hit 395 with 17 bombs. So it was a decent year for Chase Chambers. Yeah, when you play in the same conference as Tennessee Tech and you're a corner outfielder like Davis Sims is, it's going to be pretty difficult to find yourself on the first-team list. Full count to him here. 3-2 once more from Proctor. Sprayed into right field the other way, but right at Isaac Collins, who takes a couple of steps in for the second out of the inning. So a good fight by Davis Sims. 10 pitches faced in that at-bat for the right-hander out of Murray State. Pitch count nearing 70 here for Will Proctor. Just got over the 70 mark at 71 on the day. This his 5th inning of work. 2 outs thus far. The first pitch to the bottom of the order, and Will Brennan is popped up foul down the first base side. Almost caught by a Gatemen fan, but it trickles beneath the bleachers where a youngster picks it up. Will Brennan 0 for 1 today, grounded out to the second baseman Sahid Valenzuela back in the 3rd inning. Left-handed hitting outfielder playing left field today out of Kansas State. 0-1 outside, 1-1. Had a great year this season for the Wildcats. 359 in 54 games. Similar numbers to Davis Sims. Far less power for him, though. 13 doubles, a triple, and that one is shot into left field and down for a base hit. So Will Brennan on with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Logan Davidson.
It's got to be a confidence lift for Brennan, who goes into that bat hitting just 187. And Proctor challenging him with one on the inside half of the plate. And Brennan really doesn't get a good piece of lumber on it. He's jammed the whole time, but he's able to get it into left field for a base hit. Got to feel good.
So 2 outs and a runner on at first now for Logan Davidson, who is 0 for 2 today. First pitch from Proctor to the Clemson Tigers. A called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Good frame job from Gian Martellini.
Certainly was. That pitch looked a little bit off the plate, but Martellini, seasoned back there, is able to snatch one away.
Nice changeup that time out of the hand of Proctor. It's now 0-2. Will Brennan on at first, being held on by Lyle Lockhart Jr. A 2-1 lead for the Gatemen here with a dangerous hitter in Logan Davidson in the batter's box, but 2 strikes against him and 2 outs in this inning. Brennan off with the pitch, but it doesn't matter. Logan Davidson swings and misses at a good fastball from Will Proctor. 5th strikeout of the day for the right-hander, and he is through 5 with just 1 run against him. That strikeout brought to you by Lang Exa Forest and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Gatemen. And as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, still a 2-1 lead for Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini-golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Bottom of the 5th inning from Spillane Field, Mitchell Miller back to the mound for the Falmouth Commodores here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 2-1 lead here for Wareham. Really, it was all in that 4th inning. They had been struggling offensively through the first 3, but then broke through against Mitchell Stone in the 4th.
Yeah, and it starts with a couple of walks, so Stone was starting to labor, walks the first 2, and a sacrifice gets both of them into scoring position. Isaac Collins, one of the hottest hitters on the team right now, comes through with a single to bring home 2 runs, and that's your offense so far tonight.
Zahid Valenzuela, the switch-hitting second baseman out of Cal State Fullerton, leads it off here for the Gatemen against Mitchell Miller. The first pitch looks to throw down a bunt, but pulls it back. Breaking ball in the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1. Valenzuela 1 for 2 on the day. Flied out to left field in the first and then singled back in the 3rd, an infield single to Logan Davidson. 0-2 the count to him here. Switch hitter batting right against the left-hander Miller. 0-2. Waved on and missed. Breaking ball down low. First strikeout of the day for Zahid Valenzuela. The second for the left-hander Mitchell Miller. There's 1 gone for Austin Shenton. Shenton has been pitched around, to say the least, today. 2 walks for him, 1 in the first and 1 in the 3rd, although both of them did get all the way up to 2 strike counts. First pitch to him here is swung on, tapped under the glove of the second baseman, Julian, and into right field. Just snuck right under the glove of Julian. We'll have to see how they score it, but certainly looked like an error from here. And we are getting the confirmation it will be scored an error E4 against Julian. So So Austin Shenton is on for the third time today with one out in the inning.
Yeah, and that is the correct call right there. I mean, this is a play Julian has to make, just right under his glove. We've seen him make a couple of nice plays out there at second base today and botched an easy one right there. And even though that average usually leans towards scoring it a hit for Austin Shenton, that is the reasonable error call that time.
So now his moves to 0 for 1 on the day, although he has reached base all 3 times. But hasn't moved past first. He's been stranded there twice. Looping breaking ball into Lyle Lockhart is in there for a called strike, 0-1 to the switch hitter batting right out of Houston. He's 0 for 2 today. Flied out to center field in the first and then struck out swinging back in the third to strand a runner in scoring position for the Gatemen. Austin Shenton on at first base is 1 for 2 in stolen base attempts, but Miller's still keeping an eye on him. 0-1 breaking ball in the outside corner, 0-2. Pavin Parks, the left-handed third baseman out of Kent State, waits on deck for the Gatemen. The entire field now in shade, the 0-2 pitch. Outside, fastball rode way out of the zone. Waste pitch of the highest degree there, still 1-2.
Yeah, a couple of devastating pitches for Miller to start off the at-bat. A couple right on the black that Lyle Lockhart is just not going to be able to handle no matter which side of the plate he's hitting from. And then obviously the waste to get him to chase there doesn't get him to.
Throw over, pickoff attempt, hit off the helmet of Austin Shenton. He's still got a smile over there, though, as it knocked it off his head. Looks like he's all right. We'll do it again, still a ball and 2 strikes. One-two from the lefty Miller. Swung on and popped up back and right. Catcher gives it a look, but it will get out of play. Maverick Hanley raced over, thought he would have an opportunity at it, but it does get foul. So Lyle Lockhart, much like in his last AB, staying alive with 2 strikes by fouling off a good pitch.
He certainly made Stone work in that long at-bat his last time up, making Mitchell Miller work this time. Crucial at-bat here, trying to extend a lead. You've got your best hitter on at first base. You're trying to give him some protection like we've been talking about. 1 out in the inning. You know it's not all riding on you. A little bit of pressure taken off for what could be a big at-bat for him.
1-2. Inside it gets him. Not where Mitchell Miller wanted that pitch with 2 strikes. Was ahead in the count 1-2, but now, after an error by the second baseman Julian and a mental error, I guess you could call it, from the left-hander Miller on the mound, there's runners at first and second with just 1 out for Pavin Parks.
Yeah, that's got to be one that's going to come back to haunt Miller, because he, very similar to what we've seen from Mitchell Stone, a tough lefty with a lot of breaking stuff, and we saw Lyle Lockhart struggle against Stone early in the game, and after that error, Miller's got to be thinking, okay, this is the guy I want at the plate right now, gets him 1-2, and then puts him on the easy way.
Responds with a first pitch fastball in the inner half to Pavin Parks, 0-1. Parks 0 for 1 today. Struck out swinging in the second, then walked and scored a run on the 2 RBI single from Isaac Collins in the last inning. Big lefty, muscular guy out of Kent State University, 24th round pick of the Padres this season, but deciding, hey, I love Kent State so much, I'm going to go back for my senior year. One nice slider on the inside corner, back door to the left-hander Parks. He's upset with himself for not taking a hack at it. 1-2 now.
Yeah, he knows Miller missed his spot there. It does turn out to be a very good backdoor slider, but he had the catcher Hanley set up outside, and Parks knows he missed one that missed on the inner half of the plate.
1-2, waved on and missed. Big fastball, lively fastball out of the hand of Mitchell Miller. 3rd strikeout of the day, 2nd of the inning for the lefty, and there's 2 gone for Gian Martellini.
The catcher, number 9, Gian Martellini.
Martellini, 1 for 1 on the day, singled in his second, then walked and scored a run on that Collins 2-run single back in the fourth. First pitch is a looping breaking ball in below the knees, 1-0. Martellini in just his 5th appearance of the season with the Gatemen, although the average does look pretty good at 250 for him. Has yet to walk, but he's got a 2-0 strike, or excuse me, a 2-0 count against him, I should say, here against Mitchell Miller.
Miller's starting to air out that fastball. The last 2 hitters here. This is a fastball count right now for John Martellini. Let's see if he's able to go back to it here.
So 2-0 the count. The left-hander Miller to the right-handed hitting Martellini. As he fouls one off, he's not happy with himself. Might have chased that one up and out of the zone.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be ball 3. That's got to be why Martellini's a little upset that time.
So 2-1 the count. Lyle Lockhart on at first. Austin Shenton at second. Gatemen trying to build on a 2-1 lead here with 2 outs in the 5th. 2-1 to Martellini is skied high into right field. Kyle Stower is underneath it, and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. Gatemen leave 2 stranded once again. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning. 2-1 lead for Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Marion.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway. Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
New pitcher on the mound here for the Gatemen. It'll be the right-hander out of Cal, Jared Horn, to replace Will Proctor. Final line on Proctor today. 5 innings, 2 hits, just 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts. He looked magnificent, Cam.
Yeah, he did, and I think that's the best outing we have seen from Proctor this year. The strikeout numbers for him were pretty good. 4 of them on the day, and sprayed across a couple of walks as well, but he really pitched well to strand some guys. You remember that RBI was the first single he gave up, the first hit that brought in a run, and that guy wouldn't have been there had it not been for a wild pitch that got him to second base. So maybe a bit on Proctor there, but he's got to feel confident with the way he pitched tonight, and we'll see how he builds on that going throughout the year. He's one of these guys who we'll probably see both out of the bullpen and in the starting rotation going forward. A guy like Cody Carroll or an Easton Lucas that we have seen flip back and forth over the last week or so. So he's going to play a big role going forward for the Gatemen as we approach the last month of the season.
So he is replaced by Jared Horn, and this pitching change is brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day, we're always welcome to the public, so go. Get to the point. Jared Horn, the right-hander out of Cal, has made a number of appearances this season for the Gatemen, and it's been a bit of an up-and-down season for him. Went 3 innings, gave up just 1 run on 5 hits against Hyannis in that 17-4 win. That's probably the best outing we've seen from him this season, but other than that, it's really been hit and miss for him. A 7.14 ERA in 4 relief appearances. He's gone 11 1/3 innings, given up 20 hits. He's walked 8 and struck out 13. First batter he'll face here is Maverick Handley. Catcher out of Stanford spins out of the way of a fastball from the Pac-12 rivals. 1-0 the count to Handley.
Yeah, we've really seen the good and the bad from Jared Horn this year, and that ERA now looks a bit deceptive at 7.14 because of how good he's been his last 2 times out. Obviously, that Brewster game was his best game of the year, the 3 innings pitched, and ends up giving up a run that came around to score on Ryan Stoudemire. It was a guy he walked in the 9th inning that became the tying run, but it's really started to look up for Jared Horn the last couple times out.
That breaking ball misses up. Just broke it off too early and knew it right away. So 2-1 the count here to Maverick Handley with the right-hander Horn on the mound. Good fastball, rides out of the zone. 2-2. Definitely the best pitch we've seen tonight from Jared Horn, and this is his first batter he has faced. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out the pitch. Breaking ball up and away, full count. This is something we've seen from Jared Horn. He's been able to get guys to 2 strikes, but then falls apart a bit with the location.
Yeah, I think he tries to get a bit too cute with the breaking stuff, usually with 2 strikes. That's what's doomed him this year.
This one hit, though, right on the ground to Pavin Parks. He comes up throwing and beats the catcher Handley down to the base for out number 1.
I like that. He went with the fastball there on the 3-2. Something, he had a couple of good fastballs in that at-bat and gets the ground out. So he's not strictly living with that breaking ball with 2 strikes.
So 1 up, 1 down against him here. But he is heading into the heart of the order. The number 3 hitter, Austin Langworthy, the center fielder out of Florida, strides in. Big left-handed hitter, first pitch to him. Outside, 1-0. Langworthy 0 for 1 today, bounced out to Will Proctor, 1-3 in the first, and then walked and scored a run in the 4th inning. 1-0 misses inside, 2-0 now. Langworthy out of Florida, hit .290 this season for the Gators. Out of Williston, Florida, and Williston High School. 2-0, fouled right back toward us again. That one made Cam jump. I didn't jump quite as high as I did the first time, but it's 2-1.
That one was it might have just clipped up in here and would have gotten me. That's like when you see a free kick in soccer and you're wondering if the keeper needed to touch it or if it would have gone in or not. That one was right on the line of our window here. But how often are we going to get 2 in the same night?
Well,
rocketed at us.
Up until this point, we've only had 1 hit the plexiglass the whole season, at least that I've been here for. We've had 2 tonight, and you can see exactly where they hit because they do leave little indelible marks on the plexiglass. 3-1 lifted into right field. Collins starts back, now glides in and makes the catch.
I'd be happy to keep it at 2.
2 would be a good number.
I think that's a nice place to hang it up, boys.
These marks, I don't know if they're just marked there because it hit it so hard or if they're marked because it's starting to wear away at the integrity of the plexiglass. I hope it is not the latter.
I second that. We have seen it knocked out, so I don't know.
First pitch to Stephen Williams here with 2 outs is a good fastball located on the outer half, 0-1 to the Auburn Tiger. He's 0 for 1 today. Walked in the 2nd, then flied out to left field back in the 4th. Coming off his freshman season down in Alabama. Originally out of Albany, Georgia, and Deerfield Windsor High School. 1-1 rocketed up the middle. Diving stop by Skylar Hunter. What else is new? Another web gem from Skylar Hunter on a sinking line drive, and that ends the 6th. 1-2-3 for the Falmouth Commodores in the first inning of work for Jared Horn. He looks good through his first 3 batters faced. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. The Gatemen with a 2-1 lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
And it's time for the second Cape League update of the night. 2 games have gone final. Over in Brewster, the Whitecaps were up 6-0 after 2, but YD came back, tied it up at 6, and that's where we ended up. It was a 6-6 tie over in Brewster. That game has gone final. Over in Cotuit, the Kettleers have won 8-3. John Baker picked up the win, going 6 innings, allowing 1 run, striking out 6. Over in Bourne, the Braves lead 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. They got a great start from Justin Lasko as he went 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs. In the last game of the night, Harwich leads Chatham 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th. That's the Cape League update. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much to our beat writer Ian Vicera. As always, does a great job with the Cape Cod League updates here at home at Spillane Field. Mitchell Miller back to the mound for the Falmouth Commodores. He'll deal with 7-8-9, Kreidler, Collins, Hunter to lead it off as Kreidler flares one into right field and in for a base hit.
Did that Brewster game just go final out there? It must have been.
I mean, it is starting to get a little bit dark, and there's no lights at Stony Brook, but
I don't know. We have the lights on, so we can't really tell right now, but it must have just gone final. Unless it just gets darker quicker that far down Cape. Because he could have played in this right now. It'd have been tough, but want to get a win in? I don't know. I'm not going to judge him.
Seems like you were a little bit judgy.
Just
a touch,
can't,
at least.
Can't get behind ballparks without lights.
It is tough, especially at this level.
Brings down the league standards as far as ties after 12 innings no matter where. That's obviously because some of these not having lights. It changes our travel plans. We have to go to Cotuit or to Brewster or YD. Get in that rush hour traffic for a 5 o'clock game.
Well, we won't have to go out to YD again.
That's a plus.
That trip is already done.
With the doubleheader.
Done with a doubleheader as Isaac Collins tries to square around for a sacrifice bunt. He's missed twice now. It's 0-2. We will have to go back out to Brewster. Still haven't even been out there. We're supposed to go out there yesterday. We will go back out there on Tuesday now. Rescheduled game. We'll play a home-and-home with the Brewster Whitecaps. Monday here at Spillane, and then Tuesday out at Stony Brook Field. Cotuit. Gatemen will make the trip back out there as well. Still 3 more games to be played at Lowell Park, a divisional rival. 0-2. This is outside, 1-2 now to Collins. Pretty good pitch, though, from Miller on the outer half. Runner on at first, nobody out. Ryan Kreidler with a leadoff single into right field. Isaac Collins in his last at-bat, a 2-run single. Trying to replicate that here. Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Waved on and missed. Breaking ball in the dirt. First base isn't open, so it will just be a strikeout. The 4th of the day for Mitchell Miller. There's 1 gone and a runner on at first for Skylar Hunter.
Center fielder number 51, Skylar.
Hoping Hunter can keep things going. 4 hits now in his last game and a half. We talked about it earlier. He's starting to swing in that bat real well. Let's see if he can keep the line moving and try to add on to the lead this inning. You don't want it to falter after getting your leadoff man on, even though it's the bottom third of your order.
First pitch to Skylar Hunter is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Kreidler on at first with a leadoff single. 1 out here in the 6th. Gatemen trying to add on to a slim 2-1 advantage here. 0-1 chased outside of the zone, but fouled off. 0-2. 0-2, one out. Runner on at first is Ryan Kreidler, being held on there by Davis Sims. Throw over. Led Sims away from the bag, but it almost helped him as he tried to swipe the back heel of Ryan Kreidler diving back in, but he isn't there safely. So still 0-2 with what just one out.
Yeah, Miller trying to be as quick as he can there. The ball almost gets away from him, but a good move. You saw Stone pick off Jeremy Idens a couple of times to start this game. Miller just as quick from the lefty getting it over to first base.
So 1-2 the count here to Skylar Hunter. Trying to turn the lineup over and keep it at just one out. Kreidler off with the pitch as Hunter sprays one foul. You think the hit and run was on there, or was it just the fact that Hunter chased one out of the zone?
I think Hunter just chased one out of the zone here. Although he does get a fastball and he knows it, I think that was just a straight send for Kreidler.
The 1-2. Looping breaking ball, swung on and lifted high into right field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. The right fielder, Stowers, couldn't get there. Skylar Hunter around first. He'll trot back there, but Ryan Kreidler up to third base on a flare single for Skylar Hunter. And when you're struggling as much as he has this season, you'll take just about anything.
Yeah, you'll take him where you can get him, and this is not a bad job by Hunter because he's trying to protect the plate. Usually try to spoil those pitches if it's one you don't really like. This time he keeps it in play and is fortunate, just hugs it down that line there in fair territory for a base hit, and the Gatemen are in business again.
Flashing the leather in the last half inning, now flashing the wood with the bat here in this half, in the sixth. So now runners at the corners, one out for Idens. First pitch to him is swung on and popped up into foul territory down the right side. Davis Sims gives it a look, but it'll get over the chain link fence and out of play. So this is one of those situations we often talk about, Cam. Less than 2 outs, runner at third. Idens with a lot of ways to move that runner home.
Yeah, and it puts extra pressure on him because you do want to get that done before the second out. And also it's a double play ball right here. I was just about to mention I'd probably send Skylar Hunter down to second on a stolen base attempt because he's one of the fastest guys on the team. Doesn't get many chances to steal. And you obviously try to force the issue on with the guy at third. Force a bad throw will score him without Idens even needing to get a hit. So a little extra pressure for Idens to keep it off the ground and still try not to get that second out before getting a run home.
Hunter 3 for 3 on stolen bases this season, not going here. Would have been a good, not a great pitch to run on, I should say, a good pitch to throw on. Fastball that ran outside to the right-handed batter Idens.
Yeah, almost like a pitch out there to try and get the catcher Hanley ready to throw it down, but no offer.
Throw over. Pickoff attempt. Idens but started to move down that third base side, but retreated back. So 1-1. 1 out and runners at the corners for Idens. Gatemen trying to add to a 2-1 lead. Left-hander Miller comes set. Another throw over, though. Should say Kreidler is the one on at third base. Skylar Hunter at first. Kreidler at third. Kreidler's UCLA teammate Idens in the batter's box. 1-1, checked swing. Fastball outside. Did he go? He did, says the first base umpire. So Idens chases out of the zone. 1-2 now. We've talked about how there are so many ways to get a runner in from third, but a strikeout is not one of them. Idens has done a good job staying away from the K of late, but did go through that stretch where he really struggled. 1-2, fouled off. Looks like it might have gone off the glove of Maverick Handley, the way he reacted.
Yeah, he was really upset with himself. Had a chance to get that pivotal strikeout right there if he was able to catch it on the foul tip for the third strike, and just clanked off his glove. It's obviously a bang-bang play. You almost can't even react to it. Nonetheless, still upset with himself, and Idens still at the plate.
So 1-2. Idens still has life here in the sixth. Pitch home. Outside, 2-2 now. Gatemen clinging to a slim 2-1 advantage, trying to add to it here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hunter at first, Kreidler at third. The pitch swung on, roped down the left field line, sinking line drive, and it will land foul ball.
Miller trying to really jam Idens. Bit low for him, though, and Idens is able to go down and get it. Unfortunately, just a bit too much under it for him that time. Tried to pull it down that left field line towards the short porch. 3:15 out there down the left field line where he's already homered this year, but this one just dying foul down that line.
Idens with 13 RBIs this season, 5 doubles, a triple, and 1 home run in terms of extra base hits. Another throw over. Hunter back in. Miller up to 41 pitches. He's been efficient, though. 30 strikes and just 11 balls. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Big looping breaking ball from Mitchell Miller. Second out of the inning, 5th strikeout of the day for the left-handed reliever out of Clemson. Now there's 2 outs, but still runners at the corners.
That's a big, big out there for Mitchell Miller. Seen that pitch a couple of times from him, that breaking ball outside to righties. And Idens should still probably be offering at that with 2 strikes, but there's nothing he can do to put it in play and get good wood on it. Probably should just try to foul it off, but instead he's back to the dugout.
First pitch to Sahid Valenzuela in the inside corner for a strike 0-1. Valenzuela also a strikeout victim of Miller's. Second of the day, back in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3 today. Does have a single, and a single would do a lot of good here. 0-1 is roped down into left field for a base hit. Kreidler scores from third. Moving from first to third, here comes Skylar Hunter. And up to second is Sahid Valenzuela. An RBI for Sahid Valenzuela as he moves to second base on the base hit. It's a 3-1 lead for the Gatemen here in the 6th.
And this one, Valenzuela doesn't even really barrel up. He's jammed on it. It's another one down low that he's jammed, like the one we saw Idens foul down the left field line. But Valenzuela able to just drop it in fair and down to second with the RBI double. Adjustments made as he watched Idens do it while he was on deck. Let's see if we're going to have a pitching change here for the Commodores.
Pitching coach back out to the mound. Mitchell Miller doesn't look pleased. Flings his head back, and it does look like we will have a pitching change. Right-hander coming into the game for the first time today. First time the Gatemen will see a right-handed pitcher from Falmouth. All the pitchers in the last game, all left-handers. So the right-hander to the mound for the Falmouth Commodores. We'll have who it is when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
From one Clemson Tiger to another, Mitchell Miller hands off the ball to his collegiate teammate Carson Spires out of Clemson. Right-hander, one of the best pitchers in the league this season for the Falmouth Commodores. So really their strength is in pitching. He has one of the best ERAs in the league in 2018. Right-hander out of Clemson. Coming in, he'll be the first right-hander that the Gatemen will face this season in terms of when they're facing Falmouth. Spires, 6'3", 210 pounds, has a 1.29 ERA this year. In 4 appearances, he's gone 7 innings, given up just 4 hits, only 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts for a guy that has Clemson running through his veins. His uncle, his dad, and his grandfather, all Clemson Tigers at one point. This season down in South Carolina for Spires, a 2.08 ERA in 29 games. He went 43 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, 22 hits, 10 earned runs, 19 walks, and 39 strikeouts. Perhaps the most impressive number, though, a 149 batting average against. They'll be faced with a tough task, to say the least, to start this inning. Austin Shenton, leading hitter on the Cape this season, will stride in with runners at second and third. 2 outs, though, so Spires is being tasked here with delivering the final out of the 6th inning.
And I'll bring up this stat once again because it's still relevant after the Shenton walk the last time he was in this situation. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 500 on the year, and 7 runs driven in.
First pitch to Shenton misses low out of the hand of Spires. It's 1-0.
That's a really good pitch by Spires. I'm pretty surprised, as well as he, that he didn't get the strike call there to start things off against Shenton.
So ball and no strikes to Shenton. Spires, the right-hander out of Clemson. This is down and away, 2-0. So in this matchup, you've got the best batting average in the league with Austin Shenton against the third best, ERA in the league. This one is hit on the ground, advantage pitcher. Davis Sims to one knee and then over to first. 3 unassisted, and the Gatemen strand 2 in scoring position. But not before they open up their lead a little bit more. An RBI double from Sahid Valenzuela. We're headed to the top of the 7th inning, a 3-1 lead for the Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
The 80 Makepeace Company also owns and operates Reed Custom Soils, the area's leading manufacturer of custom soils, including CU structural soil and Rooflight certified green roof media. Reed Custom Soils is also a manufacturer and distributor of baseball infield mix and conditioners. To learn more, visit 80makepeace.com or reedcustomsoils.com.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
Jared Horn back to the mound for the 7th inning, protecting a 3-1 Gatemen lead from Spillane Field. Right-hander out of Cal was untouchable, 1-2-3 in his first inning of relief in the 6th, and now he will deal with Kyle Stowers, Cameron Cannon, and Edward Julian. 5, 6, 7 for Falmouth here in the 7th inning. Stowers with the lone RBI of the game for Falmouth, an RBI single back in his last at-bat in the 4th. He is 1 for 1 today, also had a sac bunt in the 2nd. First pitch to him, fastball misses up, 1-0. This has really been the trend for Horn. He'll have a really good inning and then misses out of the zone, but comes back with a good fastball. Stowers lifts that down the left field line, but out of play.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how often he features the fastball this inning. First 2 pitches have been that. And we saw the breaking ball really wasn't working for him last inning. It was kind of falling out of his hands, not snapping out of it. And that was again the case in warm-ups here before this inning. So see if he strays away from that breaking ball a little bit.
1-1 low, 2-1 on a fastball.
He's got a pretty good fastball, Horn does, but if you can't locate that breaking pitch, you become real predictable, and a good fastball still probably isn't going to get you success in this league.
2-1, Stowers looks like he offered. Appeal down to third base. He didn't. So 3-1. as Kyle Stowers strides in. Trying to get a rally going here for Falmouth, and this is the part of the order you want to do it with. 3-1 rocketed back up the middle and into center field to hit. Stowers on with a leadoff single. And now the dangerous Cameron Cannon comes to the plate.
And that Stowers just getting ahead of Jared Horn in the mind game here. Horn doesn't want to go 3-2 because he knows he's going to have to go fastball on 3-2, so he thinks he can sneak one by him on 2-2. But Stowers is waiting for it and is able to shoot it right back up the middle. As I mentioned, you become a lot more predictable if your breaking ball isn't being located. And Stowers knows if he goes 3-2, he's definitely not getting a breaking ball from him. And Horn thought he could just jump ahead of the count a little bit, if you will, and not successful that time.
So now Stowers stands at first base, being held on there by Lyle Lockhart. Cameron Cannon 0 for 2 today, but he did have the 6 RBIs just 2 days ago in a 17-7 blowout win over the Katuitt Kettleers at Lowell Park. Pretty healthy lead here for Stowers as Lockhart holds him on still. Right-hander Horn to the right-handed hitting Cannon. Popped up high and foul as it gets over the press box and out of play. Little Pac-12 matchup here. Cal Bear on the mound and Jared Horn. The Arizona Wildcat and Cameron Cannon in the batter's box. And Kyle Stowers, the Stanford Cardinal, also out of the Pac-12 at first base. At this point, sometimes in this league it feels like count how many Pac-12 guys are all in the field at once. Because there's 2 UCLA Bruins out there for the Gatemen on defense. 1-1 in there for a strike, 1-2. So you've got Idens in left out of UCLA, Kreidler at short out of UCLA, Horn on the mound out of Cal, Stowers at first out of Stanford, and Cannon in the batter's box out of Arizona. 1-2, good breaking ball. Out and away, Cannon chased it. That's the first strikeout of the day for Jared Horn, and it's brought to you by Lang Exifaris and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Gatemen.
Yeah, it's the first great breaking ball we've seen from Horn really in this outing, but definitely this inning. That's that little bit of a slurve that breaks way outside to right-handed hitters, and it's just catching enough of the strike zone going through that Cannon has to offer at it. Real good pitch there from Horn.
First pitch to Edward Julian is hit into the gap between first and second and into right field, a base hit. Isaac Collins coming up throwing, but moving from first to third on the single is Kyle Stowers, so no runners at the corners and just 1 out for Davis Sims.
And that's one of the ones we were talking about with Skylar Hunter. You take him any way you can get him. Edouard Julien has really been struggling this season, 3 for 36 going into today. That's good for .083 average. And just finds a hole here that wouldn't have been there if there wasn't a guy on base. Lyle Lockhart, the first baseman, was holding the man on. And because of that, there was that extra hole that Sahid Valenzuela's not going to be able to cover. And it really was just a ground ball that found a way through.
So runners at the corners. The double play still in order here against Davis Sims. First pitch to the big right-hander out of Murray State misses up, 1-0. So Edward Julian at first base. On at third is Kyle Stowers out of Stanford. 1-0 to Sims, misses low on a fastball, 2-0. Now Jim Lawler will come out and have a chat with Jared Horn on the mound. And if you're Jim Lawler, are you telling Jared Horn, don't worry about Sims, let's attack Will Brennan? Maybe load the bases here?
That could very well be the case. As we've mentioned a couple times this inning, Horn doesn't have all his stuff tonight, but you can still work around that. A guy like Will Brennan is really struggling down there at that number 9 hole. Does have a hit today, but still below the Mendoza line. I think you might take the chances on it. If it's a 1-run game, no. Even 2, that's a little risky. But I wouldn't be surprised. And maybe Horn offers a couple of breaking pitches here that he knows are going to be outside of the strike zone just to see how good his breaking stuff is setting up into that next hitter with Will Brennan. And you don't really worry about the walk, especially 2-0 right here. Sims is definitely sitting fastball. I'd go off speed.
So 2-0 pitch. It is off speed. Located well on the outside corner, 2-1.
Now he sees it goes for a strike. Let's see if the strategy changes. Maybe he tries it again. If he gets to 2-2, obviously you're attacking Davis Sims and not just waiting around for Will Brennan.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch is in at the knees for a strike called. 2-2 now. So the pitching coach coming out to the mound, Jim Lawler coming out to the mound to discuss strategy certainly helps. And you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsored that last trip to the mound.
Going elevated fastball here. Let's see.
2-2. Elevated breaking ball hung up, but Sims missed it. 2-2.
A much less common elevated breaking ball there.
Yeah, most of the time if you leave an elevated breaking ball like that, it's ended up in the bleachers somewhere, but Horn does just enough to fool Davis Sims. Still 2-2 with an out. Runners at the corners, a 3-1 lead for the Gatemen. That one is pumped high into right field. Isaac Collins and Skylar Hunter converging. Hunter there to make the catch. Stowers is tagging from third base. The tag is not there, as Stowers slid in just underneath a swipe tag from Gian Martellini. So it will go down as a sac fly for Davis Sims and an RBI. Runner at first stays put, but there is now a 3-2 lead here for the Gatemen.
This one was oh so close. It's a really good throw by Hunter, whose arm we really haven't seen tested too much this year. And he gets it just a few steps up the line. That's perfect for Gian Martellini. And he tries the swipe tag and getting home just ahead of it there is Stowers. A great slide by him to be able to get around that tag. It really was bang bang. But the Gatemen almost coming away with that one.
Breaking ball up and away to Will Brennan. It's 1-0 here, as now the Gatemen are protecting a slimmer lead. At one point it was 2-1, then 3-1, and now 3-2 here for the Gatemen. Another looping breaking ball. This one misses up over the belt. No, a late strike called by the home plate umpire. It's 1-1. One hit right on the ground to Ryan Kreidler. Tough hop, bounces off his glove. That took a nasty hop off the lip of the grass, and what looked like a routine ground ball will keep this inning going here for the Commodores.
My goodness, that's one of the most wicked hops I've ever seen on an infield. Kreidler has this sized up perfectly, such a routine play, and just absolutely explodes on him. And this is a crucial point in the game now. It's 3-2. That was your number 9 man for Falmouth, and you get him to have a routine ground ball that eats up Kreidler. No fault to him, and now you're back at the top of your order with the tying run in scoring position.
As you mentioned, Cam, no fault to Ryan Kreidler. Willoughby scored an infield single for Will Brennan. 0-1 the count to Logan Davidson, who is dangerous but is 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Switch hitter batting left out of Clemson. 0-1 from the right-hander Horn is swung on tap toward the third baseman Parks. Charging in, throws across his body in time to gun down the speedy Davidson down the first base line, and Jared Horn gets out of a bit of a jam. But not before he gives up an RBI sac fly to Davis Sims, scoring Kyle Stowers from third. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Gatemen will try to add on to the lead once again after it's been cut in half here. It's 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, we are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
3-2 Gatemen bottom 7 from Spillane Field. Falmouth cutting into the lead with a sac fly and an RBI for Davis Sims in the last half inning. Now Lyle Lockhart will look to get it going here. First time he's batting from the left side today against the right-hander. So it's 1-0 here to Lockhart. The right-hander Carson Spires out of Clemson on the mound. 1-0 skips away from the catcher Maverick Handley, and it's 2-0. Spires got the job done in the last half inning. Asked to retire Austin Shenton, the best hitter on the Cape, and he did just that. So now that he has come in and shut down that last inning, we can close up the line, on Mitchell Miller. Miller went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, a run, it was earned, and struck out 5, so he did give up an all-important run in this close of a game, but he did have a nice outing with those 5 strikeouts. Second Clemson Tiger of the day on the mound here for Falmouth. Another Clemson Tiger and shortstop Logan Davidson out in the field here for Falmouth. 2-0 the count to Lyle Lockhart, the pitch. Breaking ball, missed outside, 3-0 now. So Lockhart, who is 0 for 2 today, was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat in the 5th inning. Looking to get on base here again. As we mentioned earlier in the game, average isn't quite there, but the on-base percentage has been excellent. Coming into this game, the on-base percentage for the switch hitter out of Houston was up at .385 on the year with just a .220 average. 3-1 sprayed foul, 3-2. It's an important at-bat here for Lyle Lockhart, not only because he needs to kind of break out of a hitting slump, but also because it could start a rally here in the 7th. Gatemen trying to tack on some insurance, not comfortable with the 3-2 lead. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander Spires on the mound to the switch hitter batting left, Lyle Lockhart. Swung on and pumped high and deep into left field. This left fielder gives it a chase, and right before the foul line, Will Brennan makes the catch for out number 1. Lockhart tried to go the other way, but it hung up just enough for Will Brennan to make the play.
And a bit of a tough day for Lyle Lockhart today. Just gotten under a couple for some flyouts. Big strikeout that ended the 3rd inning and left 2 stranded. And you remember the only time on base was the hit by pitch, his last trip to the plate in the 5th inning. And even then he was down 1-2 in the count, so maybe a bit fortunate that time.
Now Paven Parks strides in. First pitch fastball to him is on the inside quarter, 0-1. Parks with a similarly unfortunate day at the plate. 0 for 2 today, a pair of strikeouts, but he does have a walk and a run scored mixed in there. 0-1 fastball, outside and high, but chased by Paven Parks, and it's 0-2. Strikeout in the 2nd, walk and run scored in the 4th, and then a quick pitch here. The right-hander Spires missed outside. First time we've seen a quick pitch this season.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't see it more often. Parks just snoozing up there at the plate. Spires, if you're Spires, that's an easy one for you to throw right down the pipe, and he actually misses on the quick pitch.
Not something you see very often. Here comes the 1-2. Gets him on that one, though. Paven Parks swings through a good breaking ball in the inner half. 3rd strikeout of the day for him. 2 up, 2 down for the Gatemen in the 7th.
The catcher, number 9, John Martellini from Boston College.
Gian Martellini strides in now. 1 for 2 on the day, a single, a walk, and a fly out to right field to his credit thus far. First pitch is a big breaking ball, just missed. 1-0. Martellini singled in the second, walked and scored a run in the fourth, then flied out to right field in the fifth. 1-0 pitch up and in, 2-0 now. Two-0 popped up, straight up over the press box. It will get out of play, and we'll do it again.
Can you tell Sam when it's
Two and 1 the count here to Martellini. 2 outs. Gatemen trying to add to a 3-2 lead in the seventh. 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside half, 2-2. Two-out pitch from Spires. Down and away on a slider out of the zone, 3-2. Ryan Kreidler, the shortstop out of UCLA, waits on deck for the Gatemen. He will bat if Gian Martellini can find a way to reach here. He's in a good spot, or a relatively good spot, pretty much an even spot. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs to him. Pitch from Spires is swung on and popped up, foul down the right side. First baseman Sims out to get it, and he makes the play as it tails away from him for out number 3. So Carson Spires, impressive through relief thus far. He's set down all 4 he's faced, including 3 here in the 7th. Gatemen have a 3-2 lead thanks in large part to an impressive pitching performance from the right-hander Will Proctor, who started today's game, and he's now joined by our sideline reporter, Mary Orders. Take it away, Mary.
By the way. Okay. Yeah. Well, not like Oh, thanks, guys. So, Will, we were talking earlier, and you talked about getting ahead in the count. Do you feel like you were able to do that tonight?
Yeah, definitely, and that's such a game changer. If I'm able to get ahead in the count, it completely puts me in the offensive, so I was, yeah.
And you played against Falmouth last time we played them almost over a month ago. Was it a completely different team? What do you feel from that?
Yeah, you got similar guys like Logan Davidson. He's always kind of a feared hitter. He hit about a 450-foot home run against me at Georgia. But, yeah, so you got some same guys, but typically it's just a different team, yeah.
And your parents are here today. What's it like playing in front of them again? Because they're from California.
Yeah, it's great. They were able to come up for the week or so, and so this is my one outing they got to see. So it's always better to throw well rather than get shelled if they're going to see you for one time.
Definitely. Will, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary, as always. Certainly an impressive outing for the Proctors to see out of their son tonight. He has gotten the Gatemen to this 1-run lead, gave up just 1 run in his outing. 2 hits through 5 innings of work. Jared Horn has given up 1 here against the Falmouth Commodores in 2 innings of relief. He's back to the mound for a 3rd here. What does he have to do better here in this half inning to avoid giving up more runs here against Falmouth and squandering away this lead, Cam?
Well, we need to see him mix his pitches better. We saw the breaking ball start to work for him a little bit at the tail end of that inning. He got a couple of called strikes on it. You obviously are expecting more swing and miss stuff on that. But if he can mix that in, as I mentioned last inning, he becomes a less predictable pitcher, and I think that cost him one of the singles in that inning. So I think it's going to be crucial for him to keep that breaking pitch going for him and mixing in called strikes and also swinging strikes. If you leave too many up, they're going to get hit, and they're going to get hit hard.
Have to see what Horn does here against Maverick Hanley. If he starts him off with a breaking ball, he doesn't. Fastball runs inside, 1-0. Hanley today 0 for 3. Grounded out to the 3rd baseman, Paven Parks, in the 1st and in the 6th, and flied out to Isaac Collins in the 4th. 1-0/foul to 1-1. One misses low, 2-1 on a breaking ball that broke a little bit too much as it slid from in to out of the zone. Handley coming into this game 7 for 37. He is now 7 for 40 with an 0 for 3 night tonight. 2-1 fastball skips in the dirt, and he's behind in the count. 3-1 is Horn. Horn trying to rein in that fastball with a tough part of the order coming up. Austin Langworthy, Steve Williams, and Kyle Stowers due up in this half inning. It's got the count now full, 3-2 to Handley. Top of the 8th inning, Gatemen clinging to a 1-run lead. Right-hander Horn comes set in the pitch. Fastball misses up and away. It's a 6-pitch walk to Maverick Handley, the catcher out of Stanford. There's a runner on at first and nobody out for Austin Langworthy.
Center fielder number 7, Austin Langworthy from Florida.
Langworthy, the left-handed hitting center fielder out of Florida, strides in. He's 0 for 2 today. Also has a walk and a run scored. Tries to lay down a sacrifice bunt, but it will get foul. Not your typical sacrifice attempt there, as Langworthy didn't really show bunt until the very last minute, so he also might have even been trying to bunt for a hit here with nobody out and a runner on at first in a 1-run ball game. Langworthy grounded out 1-3 in the first, walked and scored a run in the fourth, and then flied out to right field and Isaac Collins in the 6th. This time showing bunt all the way, the 0-1 pitch. Gets it down, but gets it foul. We'll do it again. Now the count 0-2. So you got to figure now the sacrifice bunt will be shut down, and Langworthy will have to swing away with 2 strikes against him. Infield in at double play depth, trying to get 2 outs on just 1 swing of the bat here against the Florida Gator. Runner at first is Maverick Handley. Austin Langworthy in the batter's box with Jared Horn on the mound. Right-hander from Cal comes set, the 0-2. Sprayed foul right toward the Falmouth dugout. Hit sharply, and Stephen Williams was near the on-deck circle, but now he's going to retreat back closer to the protective netting in front of the Falmouth dugout.
I don't blame him. That one was a laser beam coming towards his teammates that time. He'll certainly be on his toes in the on-deck circle there.
So Langworthy stays alive, but he's still got 2 strikes against him. The 0-2 waved on and missed. Big fastball up and away, chased out of the zone by the left-hander Langworthy. Second strikeout of the day for Jared Horn. There's 1 out and a runner on it first for Stephen Williams.
And that's the pitch I'd like to see from Horn there. If he's able to locate those breaking balls, I was calling for it a bit last inning. He didn't give it to me, but that time the elevated fastball really going to tie up left-handed hitters.
Stephen Williams strides in 0 for 2 on the day. Was robbed of a single by Skylar Hunter. Who else in center field in his last at-bat? Sinking line drive that ended the inning on a diving stop from the center fielder out of Purdue. 1-0 the count to him here. Runner on it first is Maverick Handley. 1-0 pitch up and away, 2-0 now. Just looking at this lineup for Falmouth, it is stacked with some of the baseball powerhouses in collegiate baseball. You got Clemson, Stanford, Florida, Auburn, Stanford again, Arizona, Auburn again, then Murray State and Kansas State. 2-0, called strike, 2-1.
Certainly a nice breeding ground for some of the guys here. Gatemen been lucky. They've gotten some of their best performances out of guys at maybe mid-majors, if you will. Florida International, Austin Shenton, ECU, Bryant Packard, UNLV, Bryson Stott down at the beginning of the season. So they haven't needed to go to those major Power 5 schools as much as some of the other teams in the Cape League.
I think Falmouth comes to mind when you think of teams with a lot of Power 5 guys. Brewster actually might have the most Power 5 guys in the league, but of course they have struggled to score runs, they've struggled to pitch, they've just struggled all around this season, blowing a 6-0 lead to only tie against YD earlier today, before that game was called due to darkness at Stony Brook Field. 2-2 from Horn. Breaking ball up and away, 3-2.
That's a frustrating setback if you're the Whitecaps. You almost think of it as a loss. You get a point out of it, but if you're going to make up that much ground, you need to win games and not tie them. And it just keeps getting worse and worse out there in Brewster for the defending champs.
Full count, 3-2 here to Stephen Williams. 1 out, the runner goes on the pitch. Pitch is outside, tag, swiping tag, and is not going to be there from Ryan Kreidler. That looked good from up there, so Maverick Hanley will have a stolen base. Strikeout number 3 for Jared Horn on the strikeout of Stephen Williams. But now a runner on at in scoring position at second base for Kyle Stowers. Throw from Martellini pulled Kreidler off of second. And now Hanley is trying to adjust what looks like a sleeve out there. So runner on at second, 2 outs, and Martellini will use this time that Hanley is using to try and get adjusted with his sleeve to go out and have a chat with Jared Horn, trying to attack a good hitter here in Kyle Stowers, who's 2 for 2 on the day with a sac bunt.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of gamesmanship by Martellini. After Stowers fixes the sleeve, he goes out to talk and now is waiting to see if Jim Lawler might come out as well. Looks like he'll stay put because there is action in the Gatemen bullpen. And with that tying run in scoring position and 2 outs, they may want to get a guy in this inning. And they're starting to get him loose, make sure he's warm. But right now this is Jared Horn's man. 2 outs in the inning. He certainly wants to get out of it unscathed.
They're going to intentionally walk Stowers here. So it looks like that was what the conversation was about. I suppose this does, at the very least, give a force at any base, although it does put another runner on in a very tight ball game. So Zach Stowers, who has been the big bat today for Falmouth, will be intentionally walked as the 4th free one comes to him here out of the right hand of Jared Horn. So Stowers on with an intentional base on balls, and yeah, he's been the hot guy today, but you're bringing a very hot batter in general to the plate in Cameron Cannon.
Yeah, you can't just keep giving him opportunities. A tough 0 for 3 today, but you know that that's probably not going to last very long, and this obviously the biggest opportunity for him today with that tying run in scoring position, so see how long that'll last for Cannon.
Right-hander out of Arizona, as you mentioned, Cam, 0 for 3 today. A strikeout, a pop out into foul territory, and another strikeout to his credit. First pitch breaking ball up and away, 1-0. The most nerve-wracking part about this outing for Jared Horn here has been where he has missed with the breaking ball. He has missed up and away a lot of the time and up almost all of the time when he misses.
Yeah, and I thought after that intentional walk they were going to bring in whoever's warming up down in that Gatemen bullpen. But Horn playing with fire gets that one a drop in the strike zone. But you mentioned it, if you keep missing up, those things are going to get hit, especially by right-handed hitters, a guy with a lot of power in Cannon.
Cannon 6 RBIs and a home run. His last time out against Katuitt on Thursday in a 17-7 win for Falmouth. He's 0 for 3 today, trying to tie this ball game up in the 8th. 1-1 from Horn, fastball, called strike inside. It's 1-2 now. Cannon 21 doubles, 2 triples, and 8 home runs this season at Arizona. Good extra base power, .549 slugging percentage. With the OPS slipping up into the high 900s. 1-2 from Horn. Breaking ball in there, called strike 3. Jared Horn comes up huge in the top half of the 8th inning, leaves 2 on for the Falmouth Commodores, and protects that 3-2 lead for the Gatemen. We're headed to the bottom half of the 8th. Gatemen trying to add to that 1-run lead when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Bottom of the 8th inning, a 3-2 lead for the Gatemen as they try to add to it here against a new pitcher on the mound. It'll be a left-hander for Falmouth. It looks like the left-hander A.J. Block out of Washington State. Gatemen saw him last time out between these two teams at Gov Fuller Field. Arnie Allen Diamond. He looked pretty good in that outing, and it's been a decent season for him all around, really, although he did get credited with the loss in that game against Wareham. Went just 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 earned runs, 3 hits. And really, it's been a very up-and-down season, marked in large part thanks to 2 really rough outings at the beginning of the year. That rough outing against Wareham, and then went 1 inning, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits against Harwich 2 days later. Other than that, it's been a pretty good year for him. Outside of those 1 2/3 innings, he's gone in 4 other outings. He's gone 5 in the 3rd innings and has only given up 2 runs.
Yeah, he's steadied since then, and I think a major part of that is since that first appearance, he hasn't had to face Andrew Vaughn, man who hit the 3-run homer off him to give the Gatemen the lead in that game and eventually the win out at Falmouth. You don't have to face the Golden Spikes winner again. That'll do well for your numbers and for your confidence.
So he's on in relief of Carson Spires, who went pretty good 1 in the 3rd innings, set down all 4 batters he faced in order. 1-0 to Ryan Kreidler here, shoots one toward the other shortstop, Logan Davidson. Big arm across the diamond in time. That's why Davidson's out there. I said he's a little bit big, hits a little bit too well in terms of power to be a shortstop, but that glove and that arm strength certainly helping from the left side of the infield.
Yeah, that's a decently speedy Kreidler going down the first baseline. He's got to take it on a hop, looking towards the left field foul line, not towards first base, and that's a long throw in the hole at shortstop. Really impressive play all the way around by Davidson.
First pitch to Isaac Collins is in there for a strike, breaking ball. 0-1. So Carson Spires goes 1 1/3, no hits, no runs, 1 strikeout with a right-hander out of Clemson. 0-2 now to Collins as he offers out a pitch that might have been out of the zone. It's 0-2. Collins today 1 for 3, but he does have 2 RBIs. 0-2 from Block. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Good fastball right on the outer black. 2 up, 2 down against him. Second strikeout of the day for Collins, the first of the day for Block. So 7 and 8 down. Now here comes the 9th batter in the Gatemen order today, Skylar Hunter. 2 for 3 on the day. A bloop single into right field his last time up. Shows bunt, pulls it back, but it's a called strike on the outside corner anyway. Sandwiched in between those 2 singles today in the 4th inning was a ground out 4-3 to the second baseman, Edward Julian. That was a nasty breaking ball from Block there. It's quickly 0-2. 0-2 the count, 2 outs. Here in the 8th against the Gatemen. Pitch to Skylar Hunter is skied foul. Fights off a tough fastball up in the zone. That's just the 7th pitch of the inning here for Block. Should say the 8th. Here comes number 9. 0-2, sprayed foul. This is chopped on top of the dugout here for the Falmouth Commodores down the third base side. Now some kids are trying to get at it, but that effort seems futile at best.
Yeah, it's trying to go through the fence. I don't know if that's going to work. It's just a tough one. I don't know who's going to be able to grab that. It's going to have to wait till afterwards.
Another 2-strike pitch to Skylar Hunter, sprayed foul. Still 0-2. And now it looks like maybe one of their dads is coming over.
And is trying the same thing.
Poked it out maybe, and they did end up getting it.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Just a bit longer fingers. Strategy was to push it instead of, well, whatever the kids were trying to do.
There was a little opening toward the far end of the dugout. So they figured it out. They got their souvenir that they wanted. Here's the 1-2 to Hunter. Swung on and missed. Gets in the dirt. Throw down from Handley over to the first baseman, Davis Sims, is in time. So a 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Block. Impressive. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Gatemen can't get anything across in the 8th. We're headed to the top of the 9th. Wareham trying to close it out, protecting just a 1-run lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority. Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails. Whatever your goals may be,
top of the 9th inning, Gatemen trying to close out a 1-run lead here against the Falmouth Commodores. And in to do it, it's a new pitcher, usually a long reliever, but today coming in the closing spot, the right-hander out of Southern Miss, Cody Carroll. Right-hander has, as we mentioned, coming in long relief many times this season and has pitched to a 4.91 ERA in 5 appearances, all relief. He's gone 11 innings, given up 13 hits, 6 runs all earned, 8 walks, and 13 strikeouts. So a little wild at times, but that slider is so nasty, and that's kind of the out pitch you want from a guy that's going to come out of the back end of a bullpen.
Yeah, and especially coming in 1-run lead, save situation, and you're dealing with 7, 8, 9 in the Falmouth order, hitters who aren't exactly brimming with confidence going into this game today, and you got a guy who's real nasty coming on the mound. Little extra motivation for him tonight. His family's here as well. We heard Will Proctor's from California and Carroll's family up from Florida, so definitely some extra motivation for him to go and get this save. You're also, I mentioned the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the order, but then again, if you get too nasty and walk one, you're flipping it back up to the top. So kind of live with it and die by it, but Carroll has certainly lived with it this year.
It's the right-hander out of Southern Miss this season. Been up and down on the Cape, but a couple of appearances have really marred his ERA, at the very least. Tough outing a couple of weeks ago in the doubleheader against YD. But he looked, his first appearance of the season was probably his most impressive, that pitcher's duel at Harwich at White House Field in the first week of the season. First batter he'll face is Edward Julian, the left-handed hitter out of Auburn. First pitch is a fastball, misses away, 1-0. Julian 1 for 3 on the day. His last at-bat, a single in the 7th. He struck out swinging in the 5th and then grounded out to Lyle Lockhart, 3 unassisted in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. Sprays that one foul. Now it's 1-1. Julian, as we mentioned, a historic season at Auburn this season. 17 home runs, 69 RBIs for him, breaking that Frank Thomas record for the Auburn Tigers. 1-1, good breaking ball, 1-2. Slider is the out pitch for Carroll. We'll see if he turns to it here. If he can get nasty enough, it'll be a really tough pitch coming into the left-handed batter, Julian. 1-2 for the right-hander. There it is. Tried to go backdoor, missed. 2-2.
I don't really know what was wrong with that pitch. Right on the outside corner. If I'm Cody Carroll, I got to have that one for strike 3.
So 2-2 now to Edward Julian. Julian staying alive on a gutsy take. And now he puts one up the middle and into center field. A leadoff single for Edward Julian on a mislocated fastball from Cody Carroll. And now a big bopper in Davis Sims coming to the plate.
This one just caught a bit too much of the plate here from Carroll, and now it's back-to-back at-bats with a hit for Edouard Julien, and that average is going to start to go up for him. And now you're dealing with the tying run on base. And it looks like that's as well. Pinch runner going to come on for Falmouth.
So Falmouth electing for a little bit more speed on the base paths. It'll be Hayden Cantrell out of Louisiana Lafayette. He'll plug in nicely defensively as well, a middle infielder for the Raging Cajuns. But in for his speed here. Davis Sims, the big right-hander out of Murray State. Strides in now. He's got an RBI today, a sac fly back in the 7th. Pickoff attempt over to Cantrell, but nothing doing. So Edward Julian's day is done. Cantrell out of Louisiana Lafayette in. Slider broke inside but too low for Cody Carroll. It's 1-0. Sims outside of that sac fly is 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking in the 3rd and flied out to right field in the 5th. Another throw over. But Cantrell is back in headlong. (1-0), breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop by Martellini back there. It's now 2-0. Cody Carroll on the mound trying to get out of this game here for the Gatemen. Protecting a slim 1-run advantage in the top of the 9th. (2-0) the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and in, 3-0. Will Brennan, the left fielder out of Kansas State, waits on deck.
This is where it can get really messy for Cody Carroll. I'd probably have the green light, or I'd probably be giving it to Davis Sims right here.
3-0 on the outside corner. Looked like Sims was taking all the way. 3-1 on a good fastball. Double play still in order here. A ground ball to the middle infielders would be absolutely outstanding here if you're Carroll. Throw over again, but Cantrell is back. If you're trying to induce a ground ball here, slider might not be your best choice of pitch.
No, and I think Carroll had to go fastball anyway, and I think he is going to probably get that a little bit low and in.
3-1, nasty slider, just missed the inside corner. So Davis Sims is on with a walk. Hayden Cantrell up to second. And Falmouth is in business. Nobody out in the 9th.
Yeah, and I think Sims inches a little bit closer to the plate this time because I do think that catches the corner on the inside. But because Sims is crowding it so much, it looks like a ball to the umpire. That's why he's standing at first base, and troubles are brewing here in the 9th inning.
Hayden Cantrell, the tying run on at second. Go-ahead run, Davis Sims at first. Now Jim Lawler will come out from the dugout.
And there is action down in the Wareham bullpen. Guy we've seen as kind of the quasi-closer the past couple weeks, Zach Hart, is the man warming up.
So Jim Lawler is out to the mound to discuss strategy, and you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound. So the pitching has been so good for the Gatemen in this game. And now it looks like they might be making the turn here to Zach Hart as he emerges from the bullpen in right field, and the day will end for Cody Carroll without picking up an out in this 9th inning. Zach Hart coming into the game. We're going to take a quick break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. When we come back, he comes into a tough situation. Nobody out, runners at first and second, a 1-run lead for the Gatemen in the 9th.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Zach Hart to the mound for the Gatemen in the top of the 9th inning. Wareham protecting a slim 1-run lead, 3-2 the score from Spillane Field. J.D. Rachi here alongside Cam Stewart. And how do you assess this pitching change here for the Gatemen, lifting Cody Carroll, who really just didn't look like he had it?
Well, I think that's it. I think they realized that Cody Carroll just didn't have his stuff tonight, and Zach Hart's been so electric for them the last week and a half. Bring him in. You're basically bringing in the best pitcher you have right now to try and lock down a win and make it 3 in a row for the Gatemen. He comes in, runners at first and second to protect that 1-run lead. It's going to be tough for Zach Hart, who's not much of a strikeout guy, more of a ground ball pitcher. He's definitely going to need one of those as we head to the number 9 spot in the order for a guy who already has 2 hits today.
Will Brennan 2 for 3 today, a pair of singles. Did come into this game struggling, but for Zach Hart, he'll try to pick up save number 2 on the season. He's got 1 through 5 appearances, a 3.12 ERA strictly out of the bullpen. He's gone 8 2/3 innings, given up 9 hits, 3 runs all earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. First pitch from the right-hander, Hart, is hit back up the middle. Throw over to third, it gets away! Moving down the third base side, scoring from third is Hayden Cantrell. Up to third base is Davis Sims, and into second with what was supposed to be a sacrifice bunt is Will Brennan, and we've got a tie ball game. It's now 3-3 in the 9th.
And this is really ambitious by Zach Hart. He knows he's got the force at third, but the play really should have been to second if you're the pitcher. Hart, he could just turn around and fire it there and possibly double him up. And you're not worried too much about that guy at third, even though he's the tying run, because then you'll have 2 outs. But instead, he tries to force that play to third and just nowhere near Pavin Parks.
Now the first pitch to Logan Davidson, top of the order here for Falmouth. This is down low, 1-0 to the switch hitter batting left. One-0 from the right-hander, Hart. Waved on and missed, 1-1. So we've got a tie ball game. That means a no decision will go to Will Proctor. Run comes in to score, going to the tab of Cody Carroll, but it will come in unearned on the throwing error from Hart. 1-1 to Davidson is popped up back and left. Martellini gives it a look, but it's out of play. Runner on at third base, Davis Sims, is still the responsibility of the right-hander out of Southern Miss, Cody Carroll. 1-2 the count here to Logan Davidson. Right-hander Hart comes set, the pitch. In the dirt, good stop by Martellini. Keeps runners where they are, 90 and 180 feet away respectively. Pitching change when Hart came into the game, brought to you by the Bay Point Club. On-site's 18-hole championship golf course. You better go get to the point. Two-strike pitch to Davidson is hammered high and deep into right field. Isaac Collins is there underneath it. But tagging from third base is the runner Sims. He will get in there easily. And now Falmouth takes a 4-3 lead in the ninth against Zach Hart.
This was one where wheels have just fallen off for the Gatemen here in the ninth inning. I had highlighted in our pregame show that bullpen needed to get it done tonight. And so far, Jared Horn definitely did put his team in a position to win. And just those, it's just never on for Cody Carroll today. Couldn't locate that two-strike pitch to Julien for the single and then walking Davis Sims. Those are the mistakes you can't afford to make. They seem small, but in a one-run ball game in the ninth inning, can't make those.
First pitch to Maverick Hanley is in there for a strike, 0-1. One pitch is low now, 1-1. Ball and a strike to Hanley, the pitch. Misses low, 2-1.
Infield pulled in here for the Gatemen. Just trying to keep this at a one-run game all of a sudden. They were looking at a save situation, trying to win 3 in a row, just 3 outs to get, and now they're trailing 1, and with 1 out, it could be even more.
2-1 to Maverick Hanley is under the glove of Ryan Kreidler. Scoring from third is Will Brennan. Up to second is Hanley on an errant throw, and now it gets past Lyle Lockhart. Hanley up, and now they're going to hold him at third. Originally, the wave was on from the third base coach, but Maverick Hanley delivering in a big way, and then some bumbling outfield and infield play from the Gatemen. It's now 5-3 Falmouth.
I don't really know how to analyze that one. That one, if you got the infield back, that's an out. But the way the Gatemen are throwing the ball around this inning, I don't even know. There's just no excuse for that.
So Hanley definitely has a single. It'll probably go E7 on the throw from Jeremy Idens. That'll at least move him up to second. We'll have to see anything else that comes in. But now a runner on at third, still just 1 out. Now a 2-run lead for Falmouth. First pitch to Austin Langworthy is fouled off down the left field line, 0-1. 3-2 Gatemen coming into this inning. It's now 5-3 Falmouth. 3 have come across to score in this half for the Commodores. 0-1 popped up, 0-2 now. So it will be a single for Maverick Hanley. Still no word on how he got from first to third, although that will be coming in soon. Zach Hart 0-2. Popped up foul. We'll do it again at 2 strikes. So 3 have come in to score here for Falmouth. Trying to add to it here. 0-2. Runner at third, 1 out. The pitch is swung on and bounced toward the third base side. Lyle Lockhart will pick it up, but Scoring from third is Maverick Hanley. It'll be an RBI ground out for Austin Langworthy. And now a 6-3 Falmouth Commodores lead in the ninth.
Designated hitter number 40, Stephen Williams.
Things have really fallen apart here for the Gatemen. They've given up 4 runs in this ninth inning after giving up 2 through the first 8. Base is empty now. 2 outs here in the ninth. First pitch to Stephen Williams, misses down and away, 0-1. So they'll scored a 2-base error against Jeremy Idens on the throw. Going back to that Maverick Handley play, so it'll be an RBI single for him, but then a 2-base error against Jeremy Idens to move him up to third. 1-1 from Hart, down in the dirt, 2-1. So 2 runs, no earned for Cody Carroll. Two and 1 the count now to Stephen Williams as that pitch misses up and away. 3-1. I should say 2 runs, only 1 earned for Cody Carroll. But that ERA will still skyrocket after not picking up an out in this inning. 3-1 popped up by Williams, 3-2 now. So as it stands, Cody Carroll would be in line for the loss in this game. And even though it was his error that really let this inning continue, no earned runs against Zach Hart. Hit back up the middle into his glove. And he'll just toss it over softly to Lyle Lockhart to mercifully end the top of the ninth. 4 come across to score for the Falmouth Commodores in the top half of the ninth inning. It'll now have to take the comeback of the season here for the Gatemen and the bottom of the ninth to win this one. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Bottom of the ninth inning, and the task doesn't get any easier for the Gatemen here. They've got to score 3 runs to tie it, and they'll have to do so against Jack Little, who might just be the best reliever in the country. 6'4", 190 out of Stanford. And how about a sub-1 ERA this season for the Cardinal? 0.60 in 25 games. He picked up 16 saved, 45 in the third innings. Gave up 26 hits, just 5 runs, only 3 of them earned, 8 walks, and 58 strikeouts. Batting average against at 167. I suppose if you're saying luckily here for the Gatemen, luckily they will have to do it. He will have to get through the top of the order. Jeremy Idens will lead off the inning for Wareham. First pitch from Little to Idens is swung on and roped into the 3.5 hole and into right field, a base hit. So Jack Little is indeed human. Runner on at first at the leadoff single for Jeremy Idens. Here comes Sahid Valenzuela.
Yeah, this looked like something a little off speed, maybe the slider that just had nothing on it, just hung up in the zone. And Idens is not waiting around for him to see that slider with 2 strikes. He's going to take the first pitch into right field for a base hit.
So Sahid Valenzuela strides in. Switch hitter batting left against the right-hander Little. The first pitch. Good firm fastball in the outer half. It's 0-1. Valenzuela today 2 for 4. Single in the third, a double, and 2 RBIs. Or excuse me, and 1 RBI in the sixth. Oh, 1 low in the dirt. Not enough for Idens to move up. It's 1-1. Stanford right-hander, the 1-1. Outside, 2-1 now.
For a guy who's going to feature that pitch, that kind of backdoor breaking ball there, that's a corner of the plate he's going to need called for a strike and doesn't get it that time. So that'll be interesting going forward, how he starts to attack these left-handed hitters if he's not getting that corner.
2-1 from Little is low, 3-1. So for a guy that only walked 8 batters all season in 45 innings, Little struggling to find the strike zone here against a smaller guy in Sahid Valenzuela. 3-1, Idens on it first, being held on by Davis Sims there. 3-1 pitch. Fastball inside, called strike. Valenzuela was off to first base.
Yeah, and that one, the other corner is working for him. That one, not a bad pitch on 3-1. I think that's probably a good call there for a called strike 2.
So a full count here. 3-2, Idens at first. Valenzuela in the batter's box. The pitch home. Wasted foul. Had to chase that one out of the zone, but protected with 2 strikes. Valenzuela, the second baseman out of Cal State Fullerton, trying to make it 3 hits on the day. Austin Shenton is in the on-deck circle. The 3-2 is swung on, spoiled, fell to the left side again. Behind on the fastball. Well, he's still got a 3-2 count, and we'll do it again. Idens with a very modest lead at first base. 3-2 with the outfield back. Pitch. Sprayed foul once more. Valenzuela continues to fight.
Yeah, outfield making sure they're not getting one behind them and allow a run to score easily and maybe an extra base made on an extra base hit. So just trying to keep everything in front of them, trying to avoid the big hit that gets the Gatemen back in the game.
Another full count offering from Little. Sprayed into left field, sinking line drive, and it will fall for a hit. First 2 runners reach here against Jack Little. The right-hander out of the bullpen came in to try and close this one out, but he's given up 2 hits and hasn't recorded an out. Now there's runners at first and second for Austin Shenton.
And those are the kind of at-bats that can sink a reliever, even the best, in which Little is one of the best. I mean, we even saw for Cody Carroll, Edouard Julien did the same thing in the top half of this inning. They got ahead of him. This time, Little had to battle back from behind, but Julien, they got ahead of him, and he was able to spray one into center field for a base hit on a 2-strike pitch. Valenzuela doing the same thing to the opposite field on 2 strikes for a base hit. And we'll see, just that little seed of doubt. You got the tying run at the plate, and probably your best pure hitter.
Austin Shenton strides in. First pitch to him, misses up, 1-0. Shenton 2 walks in the first and third innings. Reached on an error under the glove of Edouard Julien at second base. Back in the 5th and then grounded out 3 unassisted in the 6th inning. 1-0 low, 2-0 now. Should also point out that now at second base in place of Julien is Hayden Cantrell, middle infielder from Louisiana Lafayette. (2-0 to Shenton, and there for a strike, 2-1 now.
At about the same pitch that Valenzuela saw 3-1. I thought this one was a little bit more inside, but you got to respect that corner if you're at the plate right now for the Gatemen.
Valenzuela at first, Idens at second, down 3 in the 9th. 2-1, sprayed foul left side. Count is even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The bottom of the 9th inning, Gatemen trying to claw back after blowing a lead in the top half of the 9th and allowing 4 runs to come across to score for Falmouth. Two from the right-hander Little. Outside, 3-2 now.
I'm expecting Little to come back inside here, probably something off speed and low, because he knows he's got that corner to his advantage, and maybe he can even get a ground ball out of it and get 2.
Payoff pitch from the right-hander. Swung on and popped up into his left center field. Racing in, both players come in. It's Will Brennan who comes in and makes the catch for an all-important out number 1. Austin Shenton retired. Here comes Lyle Lockhart Jr.
And if this one were to fall, that could have actually been disastrous for the Gatemen. Sahid Valenzuela was almost all the way down to second, and Idens was kind of caught in between. He didn't know if he was going to be able to tag up or if he should have gone halfway, so instead he was about maybe less than a quarter of the way towards third base, so Valenzuela needed to be on his toes if that were to get down to not pass the lead runner.
So Valenzuela at first, Iden still at second. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Lyle Lockhart 0 for 3 on the day. Has flown out twice to the outfield and struck out once. We'll try to keep the ball off the ground here. First pitch from Jack Little. In there for a strike. Maverick Handley faking a throw toward first base where Valenzuela had a big lead, but the first baseman Sims not holding him on. 0-1 is hit on the ground to the shortstop Davidson. On to second for 1. They will not force the throw down to first. But Sahid Valenzuela is retired on the 6-4 fielder's choice. Runners at the corners. Tying run at the plate here for Pavin Parks. Idens up to third. Valenzuela eliminated at second base. Lyle Lockhart on at first after the fielder's choice. So runners at the corners, 2 outs. Gatemen down to their final out. Pavin Parks will try to give it a ride here. First pitch from Little to Parks. Misses outside on a fastball. It's 1-0. We have seen Parks come up with some late-inning home runs this season. He's got 1 on the year. Came in the 9th against Hyannis, although that one was in a blowout. And it was against a position player. 1-0, checked his swing, but it's a called strike anyways, 1-1.
The first couple coming outside for Little. I'm sure he knows that almost all of Pavin Parks' power, like most left-handed hitters, are pitches low and inside. Doesn't want to give one for him to take for a ride.
1-1 down low, 2-1 now. Into the 3.5 full and into right field, a base hit. Iden scores from third. Moving from first to third is Lyle Lockhart. Pavin Parks delivers. Scores ever so closer now. It's 6-4 Falmouth here in the 9th.
And that's how you get things going. He takes a pitch that is normally in his power alley, but maybe a little bit low, and he just goes with it. Ground ball that's able to get through for the base hit. And don't look now, but we've got a ball game again.
So now the tying run is on at first base. Game-winning run is at the plate in Gian Martellini. 2 outs, bottom 9. Runners at the corners. The first pitch to Martellini. There's a slider in there for a strike, 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2. Gatemen down to their last strike.
That's a pitch Martellini really liked. You can see him shaking his head there. He knows he missed one. He wasn't expecting the high fastball, but he got it. Knows he can take that pitch out of the yard and is able to only foul it straight back.
0-2 now. Little comes set, runners at the corners, the pitch home. Up and in with the fastball, 1-2. Gatemen allowed 4 in the top half of the ninth, 1 across to score here in the bottom half. Still down 2. The 1-2 pitch from Little. Just misses outside, 2-2.
Goes to the breaking ball there, just off the outside corner. See if he goes back to it here. Doesn't want to leave a fastball to Martellini if he doesn't have to.
Martellini with pop. Home run against Scatuit. Back on Tuesday. The 2-2. Just missed the outside corner. Another gutsy take from Gian Martellini. It's 3-2 now.
And Little does go with the fastball that time, but keeps it outside. Knows that's not his power alley. And that is a real tough pitch to take with the game on the line.
Full count offering from Little. Popped up foul. Martellini stays alive. 6-4 Falmouth. Bottom of the ninth inning. 3-2 the count to Martellini, down to their last strike for the Gatemen. Right-hander Little out of Stanford. Here's the 3-2 offering. Swung on and bounced down the third base line, but foul. Lyle Lockhart, a good jump to get out of the way. Still a full count. Martellini, one of 3 catchers on the roster. He's the hottest in terms of the bat. Trying to solidify and hit some more playing time for himself moving forward. Another full count pitch. Waved on and missed. Gian Martellini strikes out against Jack Little. And Falmouth with a comeback win. They score 4 in the top of the ninth and then hold off a Gatemen comeback attempt. They win it 6-4 here at Spillane Field.
Tough one for the Gatemen to take tonight. They know they did something similar to the Commodores in their first meeting this year. They came back in the 7th inning with 5 to win that game. This one just a real bitter pill to swallow if you're the Gatemen going in 3-2 into the 9th inning before giving up 4. You're really not setting yourself up for success if you're going to do that.
Tough night for the Gatemen, certainly, but if there is a positive to take away from this game, Cam, what is it?
Well, I think they were in good position, and I think it was just one pitching decision away, if you will. They went into the ninth, a 3-2 up. They got a real good start from Will Proctor. Another good outing from Jared Horn. Those are both positives, especially the way Horn has been up and down this year. I think that's a real positive to take away from this game. But once again, I mean, if Cody Carroll has his slider tonight, maybe we would have already been looking at a 3-2 victory 25, 30 minutes ago. But that's just baseball, and you know it's tough to keep up a winning streak even if it's only 2 going into 3 games, but that's why they become all the more impressive. They're tough to win in the Cape, and this is a good example why.
So tough loss for the Gatemen here. The winning pitcher will be A.J. Block, the left-hander out of Washington State. Cody Carroll will pick up the loss for the Gatemen. Meanwhile, the save goes to the right-hander, Jack Little. 6-4, the final from Spillane Field, and folks, despite the tough ending to this game, we want to thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast are Trevor Russo and Cam Gonsalves. Our sideline reporter is Mary Orders. And thanks as always to our beat writer Ian Becerra and today's WCTV broadcaster and pre-game and post-game host, Enrique Demore. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen play the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at McKeon Park in Hyannis. The game starts at 6. Our coverage begins at 5:30 with Gatemen Pregame Live. For Cam Stewart, I'm J.D. Rachi. We want to thank you once again for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. One more time, your final score from Spillane Field, the Falmouth Commodores 6, the Wareham Gatemen 4. We will talk to you tomorrow night.